What a big victory this is, regardless of how this goes. 57 for the Eknath Shinde Sena, 53 for all of MVA. This is beyond their wildest imagination as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Each of the MLAs who've defected have won. So, it's very interesting. All those who broke away with him, the 40-odd so-called Gaddars, whether you like it or not, I mean, I have my problems of the kind of politics that was waged and the allegations of money changing hands, but they won the election. People reward the
original sin was done by Uddhav Thackeray. It will haunt him perpetually because original Gaddari was done by him.
Sorry, say that again.
Original Gaddari was done by Uddhav Thackeray.
Triggered by Sanjay Raut.
Sanjay Raut is a character, and I can't even fathom how he is still in the job of being a spokesperson and completely destroying whatever credibility Uddhav Thackeray had left. My point is, in 2019, the resounding mandate was for BJP, Shiv Sena to together carry on. We wouldn't have seen the mess that we saw over the past 5 years. Yes. I think the original sin, therefore, once you conduct, you cannot accuse others repeatedly of the same thing. And I think this should settle that affair. Uddhav Thackeray should also, because of health reasons, in all likelihood, he will retire. Aditya Thackeray, if he's serious, he will have to rebuild the party, work hard, and ensure that, there is something more than this Gaddari thing that he wants to perpetually sell. For the past 4 months, these so-called Gaddars have gone to the ground and have worked really hard and have won the minds and hearts of the people.
No, before that, he'll need to win his own election.
There is a larger point here, which is that in Indian politics, one check can be encashed only once. Whether it is, say, Arakshan Khatre mein hai, Constitution Khatre mein hai, you try and present the same check in an assembly context, it doesn't necessarily work. I mean, there were other checks which the Mahavikas Aghadi could have tried to present to the voters, the check of soybean prices, cotton prices, there were other things to be said. They presented the same old check which worked for them last time and it bounced at the hustings this time round. That is the reality. You can't present the same check again and again. Those are images from Baramati in Maharashtra, the Gandhi of Ajit Pawar ringing loud, and they've come out. The problem though is, with 124 for the BJP, 56 for the Eknath Shinde Sena, this is a kind of verdict which is not Ajit Pawar's ideal 37, right? Because now they don't really need them. That's a big problem.
No, they don't, and therefore we'll see how the NCP, how the two NCP factions work together. I still believe at some stage there could be a reconciliation. I think as Shrikant made it very clear, no question of reconciliation with the Thackeray's at all. But Rahul Canal joins me, and he's interesting because Rahul was once seen as a right-hand man of Aditya Thackeray. He's now spokesperson of Shiv Sena's Shinde group. Rahul, big day for you and your party. You all have done remarkably well in this election, winning 55 seats, which is just one behind the entire MVA. Are you now the real Shiv Sena?
Sadhana Sahib, first of all, congratulations to you too, because you come from Maharashtra. And as we have seen, I have followed you closely on Twitter, that your tour all over Maharashtra, then your tour to Varsha as well. Sir, I would like to point out one great stat here. 45 lakh women voters come out, fresh women voters comparatively to 2019. That is the Shinde effect, that is Eknath Ji Shinde, and that is Ladki Bahin Yojana. That has worked. And 20,000 voters, women voters, have increased in every assembly. So that is the major difference if you see the winning margin of the alliance. And likability factors, if you see any survey across media channels, Eknath Ji Shinde has been the most likable CM candidate. So that is what Maharashtra is looking for.
But are you concerned, Rahul, that given this kind of a verdict, where you're at 55, the BJP at 125 plus, 124 at this moment, I mean, the numbers are stacked in their favor. Their man is more likely to be chief minister unless they themselves decide that they don't want it.
Rahul, you're a great fan of cricket as well. So if you see, whoever scores a century, it's about the man who takes the right time, the right wicket at the right time. And it is purely about captaincy. Whoever scores hard, the captain always is credited for the same. So I feel the captain has really played well for the state, for the Mahayuti alliance, and for each and every Karyakarta like me.
But Rahul, has Eknath Shinde's hegemony over now what the real Shiv Sena is, that referendum been given, or do you think the BMC election is going to be the next test?
Ma'am, BMC election would be much, much bigger by God's grace. But I would tell you, like rightly said by Rahul ji and Sardesai ji, the Gaddar factor, the XYZ, what they started with in the last election. Now, this time, the mandate given by the citizens. Now, how do you counter that? Now they will come up with, Mr. Raut came up with EVM batteries and EVM machines. So where were they during the Lok Sabha? Sardesai ji closely followed Maharashtra. Now he has apple-to-apple comparisons of both the elections. So it is just being sour losers. If you are mature enough, take the win, take...
You know,
There's a-
yeah, I think there's some problem with your audio.
Sorry.
Rahul, because you were also close to Aditya Thackeray at one time. So till a few months, till what, a year ago, you were one of his close aides. And there was a sense that because you're being investigated in a particular case, that's why you switched over. And that's what the Shiv Sena says, ki inko agency ka dar tha, isliye ye gaddar ho gaye. You believe that narrative is over or it will still continue till BMC?
Sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Before joining Shinde Sahib, I had a clean sheet of the income tax. And as you read and closely study Maharashtra, why was that raid there, first of all? And if that raid was there, and if I was in any way negative, or if you could say I was involved in any type of illegitimate doing, I took my clean sheet from the income tax and then entered Shinde Sahib. So
Okay.
earlier they started with something
I-
that it was all about money. So you can ask
Right.
them whether they took money from me or I gave them money. So that
No,
is for
I
the
want to
Thackeray's.
ask you,
So when they say
I want
about
to ask you
money,
one,
power.
I want to ask you one more last time. Who should
Please,
be
sir.
the next chief minister? Who do you think?
So
You said Eknath Ji Shinde is the most popular.
Maharashtrian, as
Yes.
a Maharashtrian, as a party worker, hands down, Shri Eknath Ji Shinde.
As a Maharashtrian, as a party worker, hands down, Eknath Shinde should be the next chief minister of Maharashtra. Rahul, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
But the BJP has got twice as number of seats as you. They have got over 120. You're at what, 55? They have
Sir,
124.
you understand cricket more than me. So the strike rate narrative, what was there in the last Lok Sabha, if you see this as a cricket game, the captain is always
BJP's
credited
got
for
a
the
bigger
victory.
strike rate.
No, the strike rates are more or less the same. So 55 out of 87 versus 124 out of
It's about
149.
pinch
I
hitting,
think
sir.
they have a better strike rate also than you. Either way, you feel this election was fought under Eknath Shinde's leadership. He should be CM. Am I correct?
Right, sir. As a party
Okay,
worker,
Rahul,
yeah.
I'm going to be, we are going to cut what you said and show it to the BJP because the BJP is going to have to
Sir,
take
as a
that
party
call.
worker, you can surely show this.
As a party worker, you can surely show this. Okay, Rahul Canal, there of the Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena, now should be called the Shiv Sena, of course, which is their official name, with the bow and arrow symbol. They will claim that they are the real Shiv Sena. Appreciate your joining us. One more
Thank you,
time,
sir.
let's set that. You're hearing every Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde group guy saying, हमको मुख्यमंत्री चाहिए. He's one under our leadership.
But Rajdeep, this is actually the right time to debate on the chief ministership.
Yeah, please
Look
do.
at the for the parties in the Yuti, they should come out, show their logics, various kinds of logic to claim the throne.
Yes.
The problem with MVA is that till yesterday they were only fighting for who is going to the chief minister without even winning the mandate for it. They had a misplaced priority throughout the election. Look at every single utterance of Mr. Sanjay Raut. Over the past 1 month, other than chief minister topic, he did not pick up even a single issue in any of the pressers that he did, any of the press conference. He shamelessly, every morning, 9 a.m., he's before the pressers. All the press people are sitting there. He's only debating, we should get these many seats because we are the natural claimant of the chief minister position. That was not the time to debate that because you completely belittled the voters in the entire equation. You were not talking about the voters' concerns. You were concerned more about your own party leader claiming to be the next chief minister. That was one of the biggest mistakes that he did, and he led the entire Mahavikas Aghadi completely on a wrong trajectory, only fighting about chief ministership when, there was nothing in hand left.
And there was a fight yesterday before the results were announced that who will be the chief minister, Nana Patole or Uddhav Thackeray, between the Shiv Sena and Congress. So they were celebrating even before the victory.
Forget that. They've now, I don't know whether Nana Patole, I must check.
He's leading.
He's
I just
leading.
checked,
Okay, so
yeah.
he's one of the few candidates who's surviving this tsunami. He could well end up then as the leader of the opposition.
There is
doesn't have the
a
numbers.
BJP rebel there.
I don't think he's
also
going to be the
understand. He's
leader of
getting helped by the
opposition.
BJP
Shiv Sena UBT is getting more than Congress. Is doing better than Congress.
So we'll have to see the final
Kamzor
numbers.
Kadikan
We'll
is
have to
the
see,
number
but
one
he'll be
party.
one of
Yeah,
the, he'll be
UBT
one of
is
the
the number one
contenders. Let's
party.
put it this way.
But you need to
He'll
have
be
the
one of-
numbers in the state also.
No,
right?
you'll be okay. You can get, you're 10%. You need 10%
But
of
who
that.
has 28?
But you know, Rajdeep.
As a grouping, they will
No, no,
announce
no,
that.
no, no.
But you know,
As a
Rajdeep,
grouping, they'll play.
something that was said, right?
Yes.
That Sharad Pawar worked through it all. How the NCP Sharad Pawar of the entire Mahavikas Aghadi grouping was the one who was most prepared on the ground. They've done terribly.
They've done terribly, yes.
Lower than others.
Way lower than others.
Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi will survive.
It just shows
Will
that
it survive?
the leaders went with Ajit Pawar. The local leaders all went with Ajit Pawar. And Sharad Pawar, who was able to get the sympathy in Lok Sabha.
डेव्हलपमेंट, रस्ते, पाणी, वीज, वंदे भारत, मेट्रो म्हणजे अप्रत्यक्ष लाभाचं राजकारण आणि प्रत्यक्ष लाभाचं राजकारण म्हणजे लाडकी बहीण, शेतकरी सन्मान निधी, शून्य बिल या दोन्हीचा बॅलन्स एकनाथजी शिंदे, देवेंद्रजी फडणवीस आणि अजितजी दादा या तिघांनी केल्यामुळे
Our alliance has benefited from our welfare and development schemes coming together under the leadership of Eknathji Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis.
जी नैसर्गिक युती होती ती शरद पवार साहेबांनी उद्धवजींनी 19ला तोडली.
In 2019, we had an alliance with Shiv Sena which was broken by Sharad Pawar and by Uddhav Thackeray.
होता. रोज सकाळी राज्याचं राजकारण कलुषित होणारं वक्तव्य भांडूपवरनं यायचं.
When he says that every day there would be a statement made from Bhandup, that's a reference to Sanjay Raut. Sanjay Raut would make a statement every morning on the state of Maharashtra politics.
भाजप बरोबर आणल्यामुळे एकनाथ शिंदे साहेबांना बाळासाहेबांच्या विचारांची मतं ही बीजेपीच्या बरोबर मिळाली.
Eknath Shinde has got the votes of those who believe in Bal Thackeray's ideology along with that of the BJP.
4 पैकी 4 जागा एनडीए पुढे, उत्तर प्रदेशमध्ये 9 पैकी 6 जागा भाजप पुढे आणि तसंच राजस्थानमध्ये 4 जागांवर भाजप पुढे. त्यामुळे देशातल्या या सगळ्या निवडणुकांमधलं चित्र हे सांगतं.
Across the country, the BJP today has done well. We have won 4 seats in Rajasthan, 6 out of 9
जनतेने
in
आपला विश्वास दाखवलेला आहे.
in Uttar Pradesh. The public of the state has stood by us.
तुमचा पुढचा प्रश्न असणार मुख्यमंत्री पदाचं काय, तर एकनाथ शिंदेजी, देवेंद्र फडणवीस, अजितदादा पवार आणि भाजपचं केंद्रीय नेतृत्व याबाबतचा निर्णय.
Your question is, your next question will be who will be the chief minister. That will be decided by Eknathji Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis, Ajit Pawar, along with the BJP leadership in Delhi.
महाराष्ट्र में मतदाताओं ने जो भाजपा महायुति को जबरदस्त जीत दिलाई है, माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में एकनाथ जी शिंदे, देवेंद्र जी फडणवीस और अजित दादा पवार, रामदास आठवले आरपीआई के इन सब ने मिलकर जो चुनाव अच्छी तरह लड़ा, जो सरकार अच्छी तरह चलाई, विशेषकर मुझे लगता है कि प्रत्यक्ष लाभ की राजनीति और अप्रत्यक्ष लाभ की राजनीति होती है. अप्रत्यक्ष लाभ की राजनीति में जो पायाभूत सुविधा होती है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट होती है, वंदे भारत ट्रेन होती है, मेट्रो होती है, सड़क होती है, पानी होता है, और प्रत्यक्ष लाभ में लाडली बहना होती है, किसान सम्मान होता है, जीरो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल का विषय होता है. इसका एक बहुत सुरेख मिलाप एकनाथ जी शिंदे, देवेंद्र जी और अजित दादा ने किया और इसलिए जनता ने पूरा भरोसा रखा. साथ ही 2019 में माननीय शरद पवार साहब ने आदरणीय उद्धव जी को लेकर बीजेपी का अलायंस जो तोड़ा, वो माननीय बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के वोटर्स को पसंद नहीं आया. और जब एकनाथ शिंदे बाला साहब जी का हिंदुत्व का धनुष्यबाण, हिंदुत्व का शिवसेना ये नाम भाजपा के साथ मेन स्ट्रीम में ले आए, तो लोगों ने उनको भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से उसका स्वीकार किया. ये आज दिखाई दे रहा है. मुझे लगता है कि बिहार में 4 में से 4 जगहों पर एनडीए आगे है. उत्तर प्रदेश में 6 जगहों पर एनडीए आगे है और राजस्थान में 4 जगह पर आगे है, तो देश पे ये बता रहा है कि देश की जनता का फिर एक बार आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी पर उन्होंने अपना विश्वास जताया है। आपका सवाल ये होगा कि मुख्यमंत्री किसका होगा, कौन होगा, तो एकनाथ शिंदे जी, देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, अजीत दादा पवार और भाजपा का केंद्रीय नेतृत्व साथ मिलकर इस विषय में निर्णय करेंगे और आपको बताएंगे। आज महायुति विजय का जश्न मना रही है और महाराष्ट्र की जनता को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दे रही है।
So Vinod Taude is still leaving that question of kaun banega Mukhyamantri open, saying that question will be decided in the next few days here in Delhi or in Mumbai with the support of all the leaders. Will sit together and take a call on that. Ki kaun banega Mukhyamantri, that question will be decided, he claims, in the next 48 hours. So interesting how that's playing out at the moment. As you can see, images there of Devendra Fadnavis with Mr. Bawan Kule, the leader of the BJP. They are embracing each other. And also Eknath Shinde. That question still remains unresolved. Kaun banega Mukhyamantri is still a question that will have to be answered in the next few days by...
Rajdeep, like you say, that,
Yes.
front runner Devendra Fadnavis, but for the Bharatiya Janata Party, keeping the dynamics going as they are. Eknath Shinde acceptable, Eknath Shinde Maratha face, you don't antagonize a lot of people where Maharashtra is concerned, because Devendra Fadnavis was a polarizing figure during the campaign in Maharashtra.
And even Mr. Bawan Kule,
Yes,
OBC face
yes,
of the party,
exactly.
state BJP president.
No, I don't think, if it is a BJP
Would it
person,
be-
it will be Fadnavis. If it is BJP, the only other option they have is, say, continuity.
Would
will
it be
fought under-
comfortable for the Mahayuti to keep going on the
Sure.
way they are, is to keep Eknath Shinde,
Particularly
at least
for the
for
first
now.
year.
At
Particularly
least for now.
first year,
At
because
least
you have
for
a
now.
big election in
And
the
if your team is
municipality.
winning matches, you don't necessarily change
You don't
the
need to
captain.
change, and not immediately. You know,
At
wait for
least
a
that
year
is
or two
one
and see how.
One thing that would sort of, play a role in the decision making overall. Again, I mean, nothing is sure as of now.
But then Fadnavis might need to be accommodated as BJP national president. You never know, because this is a fantastic victory, correct? He has scripted this.
Yeah, that's also a possibility that if you decide on
And Mr.
Eknath Shinde...
Taude, then Mr. Taude needs to.
But that is also a possibility. You bring
Who's-
back
yeah.
Devendra Fadnavis, but then you want, then you look at your politics of OBC politics. You've been pushing that. Do you have an OBC face? Do you, as Sheila say, have a woman face? These are all questions the BJP will have to answer. They'll have to look at social engineering, arithmetic. Remember, Devendra Fadnavis will be a high-profile BJP president. Do you want a high-profile BJP president? All these questions will be answered. I think the immediate challenge for them is local workers of the BJP will want their own chief minister. No doubt about that.
Right.
Just as the Shiv Sainiks are saying we want Eknath Shinde, you've got the BJP members who are saying we want
And the
Fadnavis.
posters are being put around the entire city of Mumbai.
Rajat, how would Nitin Gadkari be looking at this? For somebody who did the maximum sabhas, over 70
Okay,
sabhas.
then you've got
Okay,
another of the heroes of the moment. You can see Bhupendra Yadav, Union Minister, who was put in charge of this campaign. And Bhupendra Yadav has spent a lot of time in Maharashtra over the last few months working on particularly the OBC meetings that he'd organized across Maharashtra. Devendra Fadnavis being feted. And as you can see in that Maharashtrian feta, he looks like, someone who is hoping, me puna yein. This could be his me puna yein moment. I'm coming back again. And finally...
If Rajdeep is wishing for the BJP to do something, I would be feeling bad for the guy. Kahin ulta hi na kar de. So let him become whatever he does, if at all.
We should not jinx it.
Rather than jinxing it for him.
I'm only saying there are two faces. I'm saying the race is between two. Continuity with Eknath Shinde, don't change your captain. Or because you've done so well, give Devendra Fadnavis, who sacrificed. Some say, as BJP said it, I believe Amit Shah said this at a meeting in Aurangabad, closed door, हमने sacrifice त्याग किया. Exact word he used, हमने त्याग किया.
What is political logic of Shinde? This is a huge BJP victory.
So you believe it should be you think it
I
should be
don't believe
Fadnavis?
anything, but we know BJP how it functions.
So
and
what
how
do you believe?
No, Indian politics, they are very mature people. They will take a very firm.
What's your belief?
I think it's Fadnavis.
You think it's Fadnavis? I also think it's
Bawan
Fadnavis.
Kule could be a very bold decision, but which I don't expect.
Bawankule as a sort of as an OBC face that you take there?
No, because which we exactly don't know, but internal BJP balance of power, the way things happen between Mumbai and Delhi, seeing that Bawankule could be there, but I don't see any other political logic. Because this time, even Congress party is, when they win the election, then they are very mature. And they take decisions slowly, steadily, firmly.
Okay.
So I don't see any other reason. Why?
Zafur Islam joins us from the BJP. Zafar bhai, many congratulations. This is a historic verdict in favor of your party.
Thank you, Rahul. I'm sure that you remember that day what I had told you. Both you and Rajdeep, rather on your show I had told you. So, century for Bharatiya Janata Party, half century for Shinde, quarter century for Ajit Pawar ji, and put together double century for Mahayuti, something which has proven right, whatever I had said that day. And all credit goes to our leadership, all credit goes to the leadership of the Mahayuti parties, all parties together. The three pillars, big pillars, Shinde ji, Fadnavis ji and Ajit Pawar ji, they fought like a team. And we didn't fight in one particular constituency or the constituency which has been allocated to us. We fought in all Mahayuti partners, fought in every constituency, all 288 constituency we have fought. And the result is for everyone to see that it is a collective effort and something we had decided, it worked. And today I'm sure that everybody will acknowledge the leadership we have, the Bharatiya Janata Party has, the Honorable Prime Minister's guidance, the Home Minister's strategy, which has really worked in favor of Mahayuti partners.
So, Zafar bhai, kaun banega Mukhyamantri? Zafar bhai, kaun banega Mukhyamantri is the next big question.
I know that this was the... I know, Rajdeep, that's why I only jumped the gun. And say, because I knew that you will ask this question, but let me tell you very honestly, we are not authorized to speak anything about this because it is something which is to be decided by our leadership. But let me tell you, whether it's Fadnavis ji or for that matter Bawankule ji or for that matter any other party leader, even though it's a massive victory, it's a landslide victory for all of us Mahayuti partners and particularly Bharatiya Janata Party, we played a pivotal role in this for this victory. But the position is merely a responsibility. So if Fadnavis ji has been made Chief Minister and then subsequently Deputy Chief Minister, but he fought like a tiger, and see, the result is for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
So what would you prefer? Shiv Sena Karyakartas coming on the program are saying it should be Eknath Shinde. What are you saying as a BJP Karyakarta?
Say whether it's Eknath Shinde ji, whether it's Fadnavis ji, for that matter XYZ, whatever to be decided by our leadership, it is acceptable to us. Everyone will accept what one name will come out after the discussion of three leadership, our leadership, Mahayuti party leadership, put together, whichever name will come, it will be acceptable to everyone, irrespective of
which
but there is
party, whether it's the only downside on this big day for you is Jharkhand. Do you concede somewhere? And there you had a high-profile campaign. You put up Hemanta Biswa Sarma, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, some very high-profile central leaders were handling your campaign. So while you celebrate Maharashtra, and rightly so, is Jharkhand the big disappointment?
Well, it is disappointment. Yes, we are disappointed with the outcome in Jharkhand because we were expecting that we will cross 50 plus seats in Jharkhand, but this is definitely a disappointment, and we will definitely introspect what went wrong in Jharkhand because the traction which we had with the voters and the kind of feelers we had from the booth level Karyakartas was very, very encouraging, very positive. In fact, we were not expecting, even though I had gone short on various channels, including your channel Aaj Tak in the morning, that at 8 o'clock that we will make double century. But in heart to heart, we felt that maybe we are closer to 175 or maybe 180.
Dr. Islam, considering...
But in Jharkhand, we were absolutely damn sure that we will get a 80 plus.
But Dr. Islam, considering the success of Ladki Bahin Yojana in the state of Maharashtra, going ahead for the BJP, will now, call it what you may, freebies, revdi, yojanas, welfare schemes, be the calling card, keeping in mind that the central leadership has been averse to it? Is Delhi coming up now?
Preeti ji,
And
you
you're
have to
facing off with the
differentiate
king of
between
Revdi.
No, no, no. No, Preeti ji, you have to differentiate between Revdi culture and a government who's been elected to deliver the welfare scheme to the people of that particular state.
But Said Zafur Islam, if Ladki Bahin is not
in the
Revdi
government.
culture, how is Ladki Bahin different
Not
than
at
what
all.
is happening in
It
Delhi?
is- it is our
or what is
government.
happening
Let me
in
tell you.
Karnataka?
No, let me tell you. If we didn't promise before the election, we delivered while we are in the government. It is our governance model where we have to deliver few welfare scheme to the most deserving section of the society. And more importantly, you have to understand that we have done the budgetary provision and allocation for this scheme, unlike many political parties who made the announcement, but they didn't do any maths behind that, whether it will work or not work. You have to understand the finances. We have understood every single the pros
Islam,
and cons.
that is what
of,
each political party says, but the
announcing such a
question now,
scheme.
going
Have
ahead, you have an
understood
election in 2 months. Will
Not
the
at all.
same
But
model
I
that
guess for you
was
to-
applied in Maharashtra
No,
be reapplied in the national capital? Because you are facing off with what I said is somebody who's,
Preeti ji.
who made the mold.
Not at all, Preeti ji. We were in the government, and it doesn't matter whether it's 2 months before the election or 2 days before the election. We were elected for the entire five years, and once we are in the government, it is our responsibility, and it is at our discretion. We'll decide when to launch which welfare scheme. And certainly, every decision which we have made, we have understood the financing, the pros and cons, and of course they've taken the budgetary allocation, made the budgetary allocation before making such announcement. Unlike Congress party, they made the announcement today. They said that they have no funds.
Sir, but sir, that's the problem.
Even
That's not
2019
true, sir.
election, they made some
Sir,
scheme
in
and then
Maharashtra,
the
that's
finance
not
said
true.
they cannot-
September.
Sir, you have a 7.5 lakh crore debt and climbing. You're a man of finance. You know it's a problem. Why not acknowledge that?
No, I said that every decision has been made understanding the constraint we have within the government. And the allocation, once the budgetary provision is made, then it is part of the budget. It is not the statement which has been made without providing any budgetary support. That is the differentiating factor which you need to understand. Unlike the Congress parties where they have made announcement without doing any maths. And that is something which that is why they are suffering. And we know exactly how to raise resources to service what the commitment we have made. And we are not overly concerned because we know we have done maths behind this. Unlike the other political parties who have made announcement without doing anything. So there is and Maharashtra is a progressive state. We know exactly how to resource 7.5 lakh crore is not a big amount considering Maharashtra and its credit rating. Definitely, Maharashtra is in a much better position to raise resources compared to many other states who have made huge commitment without ability to raise resources. So that you have to understand.
The fact that the Congress and in particular Rahul Gandhi made this anti-India and in particular anti-Adani such a major issue of his campaign. Are you reading this also, in your view at least, as the rejection of the kind of politics that Rahul Gandhi was trying to do on the issue of the rehabilitation of the slums of Dharavi and the kind of divide that they were trying to create on the Maharashtra and Gujarat issue?
See, the duplicity of Rahul Gandhi's approach actually exposed him. All the state government who actually did transaction or the projects with Adani Group were either of his government or the opposition parties or part of the Indie government, Indie bloc. So they were criticized. They welcomed red carpet for Adani ji for doing business because at the end of the day every government needs to create jobs and they need investors to invest in that state. But that time they didn't make any noise. In fact, let me tell you, they accepted 100 crore as donation from Adani ji by Revanth Reddy accepted it. Why Rahul Gandhi is not making hue and cry that why Revanth Reddy has accepted 100 crore, signed MOU of several thousand crore? Because Rahul Gandhi has given green signal to to Revant Reddy to do transaction with or do projects with Adani Group. But for political reason, he wants to target Adani Group. That is something which was not acceptable to people of India. Your stand is actually contradicts your whatever stand you take publicly contradicts what you take stand privately. And people are not fool. People understand those hypocrisy, and that's why they have been Congress party. Rahul Gandhi has been explored, and they were carrying constitution in hand, something which actually didn't relate with anyone, because everybody knows that the state election constitution is talking about constitution has no relevance. So something their campaign was wrong, their approach was wrong, their strategy was wrong.
So just stay with us, Zafar Bhai. I appreciate you joining us. I'm joined at this time by a special guest. His name is Robin Sharma. He is like a mini PK of sorts. I don't know if he like that or not like that, but he does what Prashant Kishore did earlier. He runs Showtime Consultancy, and the man is on a roll. He's on a roll because the last campaign he ran was for TDP. He ran a very successful campaign for Chandrababu Naidu, hit that ball out of the park at Vizag, and has now hit the ball out of the park at the Wankhede as well. Robin, welcome. Fantastic victory for your team, and in particular, the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena, 54. That's the exact number at this time of the MVA. Is this better than what you would have expected?
No, it's online what we expected, and I think it should get better from here.
What do you know about these numbers which we can't see on the screen right now? Why do you think it's going to get better?
Well, I think because I have been sharing the numbers with you asked me, and everyone who has been in touch with me, we have been sharing the numbers, and if you can recollect, we have been telling this either it will be a decisive victory, because we could not pick the trends where this could be hung or it could be in between, tight election. If our numbers, I always said that if our numbers are right, then we'll cross 175 or 180. If our numbers are wrong, we'll be below 100.
Your numbers to me the other day when I spoke to you were 175. This has gone well beyond that. So you had predicted a wave, it's become a tsunami.
Yes, absolutely.
Was it the Ladki Bahin in your view that made the difference, particularly for Eknath Shinde winning the kind of strike rate that he has, or was there something else beyond that?
No, I think the entire credit and most of it goes to Ladki Bahin, but that worked in our favor. But apart from that, the Mahayuti alliance has been well prepared. Coordination was very smooth. The preparedness, the readiness was much better than Mahavikas Aghadi, and there was no friction of sorts. For example, we campaigned for each other during the last 15 days, and Eknath Shinde ji, Devendra Fadnavis ji, and Ajit Dada, all three leaders have always coordinated well with each other, helped each other on each other's seats. We have always gone down to detailing of every seat. Wherever we needed each other's support, they have always helped. So I think that coordination, preparedness, and...
So tell us this, the last guy you worked with was Chandrababu Naidu. He has this CEO kind of avatar, very prompt and punctual. Now you're working with Eknath Shinde, who works till 4 a.m. in the morning, and oftentimes during the campaign, you are also up till late at night and therefore waking up late. What's the difference between working for Eknath Shinde and working for Chandrababu Naidu?
I think one common trait is that both are really hardworking, and both are very, they never get overconfident. I can, last night when Eknath Shinde ji called and said that, will we touch 60 or not? So I said that, no, we will, don't worry, we will 55 plus, we'll surely see that we will be touching. And if it's a wave election, then we should touch 60 as well. Even Mr. Naidu, after we won the election, he asked me to analyze that the 11 seats which YSRCP has won. He asked me to study why they have won 11 seats. You should study why they have 11 seats. So both are very hardworking, but one major difference is that here Maharashtra CM, he's a mass leader. I think he's one of the biggest mass leader that Maharashtra has ever seen, and he could be one of the biggest mass leader that country could ever see in next 5 to 10 years.
You know, he keeps Robin up at 3 in the morning. That's the big difference. You know, Chandrababu Naidu usually is an early riser. And so Robin's time clock has changed. With Chandrababu Naidu, he had to get up early. With Eknath Shinde, you had to sleep late. Am I correct? Broadly.
No, not even 3. 3 is the average. It's 4, 4:30, even 5:30. So, and he, during, if you see it as an example, during election meetings, he used to do 7 to 8 election meetings in a day, come back at 10:30 or 11 in the night. Then he used to start interview. I'm sure, Rajdeep, you took interview at 4 a.m. in the morning.
4 a.m. Finished at 4:11.
Yeah. So he used to give interviews after he completes election meetings at 6 until 6 in the morning. Then 9:30 he gets up and goes for election meetings again. So that's how his schedule was. So he really worked really hard, and I think that's paying off.
Yeah, absolutely. Robin Sharma, your Showtime Consulting, I believe you're also going to be doing something for Prashant Kishore in Bihar. Is that true?
No. Till now, we were concentrating on Maharashtra. Now that Maharashtra is over, we have to see a way forward. There's a lot of work to do in Maharashtra and a lot of work to do in AP as well.
So you've got a lot of young kids who work with you. I come to your office at Kolaba, swanky office by the seaside. Where's the party tonight? Where do all these young fellows who worked so hard the last several weeks, how do you guys party?
We will surely ensure that they have a good time in the evening. We have not figured out the place. I have to check with my team whether they have figured out the place or not. But I'm sure that they deserve it.
Well, one place to party is an election counting center, because that is where the numbers have been dancing. Your team can dance there as well. A big moment. And, Rajdeep, it's also good to see a new generation of election strategists emerge. Last time, for several elections, it used to be Prashant Kishore used to come, take the accolades, or potentially even the brickbats. Now you got a whole, so we got many people in that genre adding a level of professionalism to this craft and getting taken very seriously by ground level politicians who typically wouldn't believe, kaun hai ye, hame batayenge laptop wale kya karne, but they're listening to the laptop walas.
I mean, I know Robin may not, look, at the end of the day, give credit to Eknath Shinde.
Of course.
Robin and all can only do the backup work. You need someone out there who's going to do the hard work of being there. I've always said, let's not give over credit to consultants. The limits are there also. At the same time, they play a useful role in organizing a campaign. And Eknath Shinde, to his credit, was willing to sort of work with consultants. I don't know whether
But he didn't have a party structure. The first election he was fighting by himself.
But at the end of the day, if I'm going to sleep 3 hours every night for 3 months, be out there going to 200 constituencies, it's the individual. Robin can only provide the sort of
superstructure.
The support staff. I'm not even saying it is the individual leaders. I mean, I don't think Prashant Kishore made Mamata Banerjee win. Mamata Banerjee won that election. I don't think Prime Minister Modi won 2014 because of Prashant Kishore. Prime Minister Modi won that election. The backup comes from the consultants, and the good consultants like Robin recognize that, and I think work effectively with different leaders.
I agree and disagree with you. I disagree with you to the extent that no matter what an anchor may know, unless the election intelligence dashboard fires, you'll be misfiring on it, right? So a lot of example, the DMAs, the daily moving averages, the polling that they were doing, telling the politicians where to concentrate their firepower, that is very precise and important information. You could be campaigning randomly based on your gut and your hunch, as politicians back in the day used to. Here you're looking at 7-day, 15-day, 21-day daily moving averages for each seat, giving you a very good sense of where you're faring badly and where you're faring well. Rahul, so where should you concentrate your effort, and what seats can you, take for granted?
I'll give you an example. Prashant Kishore worked with Mamata Banerjee in Goa. 0 seats to the Trinamool Congress. Because the lie of the land was not there. Akhilesh Yadav and Rahul Gandhi together, 2017 UP. Didn't work. Akhilesh Yadav won a pretty decent victory in the Lok Sabha. It didn't happen 2017 Assembly. There is a limit to what any consultant can do. At the end of the day, people decide. Janta Janardhan, let's please not give, let's give Janta credit.
We're speaking as if Robin's not there.
Robin, go ahead.
Robin,
you agree
how
with
do you see this question of the role of the... we are delighted that there is a high level of professionalism. There's so much statistical inputs, a lot of analysis that really gets me very excited. But tell me, as a practitioner, how do you see this question and the debate between the strategist, the brain power, and the boots on the ground?
See, ultimately, I totally agree with Rajdeep that it's the leader who wins the election. It's his hard work. If we do not have a good leader, hardworking leader, and someone who listens to us or understands what's going on and what has to be done, whatever we do in back office doesn't matter. It's of no use. If we might have daily moving averages, we might have statistics, we might have campaign plan in place, but we do not have a leader who can execute that. All of this is useless. So
where do you think the MVA lost this campaign? What were you most concerned about? Soybean prices, cotton prices. What was getting your goat the most? Where do you think they could have run some circles around you but missed a trick?
I think, because we started this Latki Behan and women started getting the money, they were not able to come up with a counter narrative, because as an opposition, it is their responsibility to come up with a counter narrative to convince people that why they should be replaced with the current government. So I think that the counter narrative could not work, number one. Number two, they continue to speak about caste and Samvidhan. So my belief was that Samvidhan would not work in Vidhan Sabha election, number one. Number two, people have already voted and pressed the EVM button with that issue in Lok Sabha. There is no reason for people to press the button again on the same issue. So number three, they could not counter Latki Behna effectively. They had.
No, so if I were to ask you this, Robin, since you look at the data as closely as you do, to what extent do you think this election turned on the Ladki Behna issue? And to what extent do you think it's an overall mobilization, including on factors like batenge to katenge, which has landed you this historic victory?
I think it's a combination of all. Latki Behna was the fillip that we got to come out of the Lok Sabha performance and created a positive environment in the state. And all these, and the last push was given by batenge katenge. If you look at even turnaround and voter turnout in Mumbai, especially in North Indian dominated seats, it has increased. So we believe that it has at least helped consolidate North Indian votes in Mumbai region. It has helped consolidate votes, Hindu votes in remaining Mumbai region, rest of the Maharashtra region. And Latki Behan has helped us increase the women turnout in our favor.
Let me ask an out-of-syllabus question. Are you concerned that given how well the BJP has done, that they could potentially now want their man as CM at 55, they can play off Eknath Shinde versus Ajit Pawar and say, dono mein se ek bhi chalega, dono nahi chahiye, bas apna CM, varna, we don't really need you any longer.
I think that's out of syllabus, as you said. So it is not, I'm not the right person to comment on that. But
Robin, did it help you that you got an extra month? Because usually Maharashtra would have gone with Haryana. So you were speaking of Ladki Bahen making an impact. That extra month from Haryana to here, how much do you think that in terms of traction and what you spoke of, katenge batenge?
We were hoping that there will be certain drop in vote share and the tracker that we were looking at after the MCC kicks in. So if and we had a plan in place. If you see that as soon as Haryana results came, within 3 months, within 3 days, we organized a Dashera Milawa, massive Dashera Milawa. So we thought that there could be some drop in vote share after Haryana election or after MCC kicks in. But to my surprise, there was not enough drop in vote share after Haryana election and after MCC took place, kicked in. So, but we were prepared for it. And the extra month, I think we were prepared that we will get extra month after elections were announced for Haryana, not for Maharashtra. So we had planned accordingly. So if Haryana and Maharashtra would have gone together, we would have planned accordingly. So extra month definitely helped to get things right, get electioneering right, get the minute nuts and bolts correct in place. So it definitely helped.
Okay.
At the same time could have been used by the other side, which they failed to use. But Robin, good
You
to
have
see.
Amitabh has a question for him. Amitabh, go on.
Robin bhai, Amitabh here, many congratulations.
Thank you, bhai.
I need to ask a question. Did you have some specific strategy for Sena versus Sena contest, or was it really the same for all the seats you contested?
I think for Sena versus Sena contest, one thing I can tell now that we utilized that confusion of CM face that they were having, Mavika Sagadi, because there are two factors that helped, I think. One is that Katenge Batenge was able to break certain core Uddhav Sena votes in favor of us. Number two, the confusion of CM face that Uddhav ji might not be the CM face and Congress will have a CM face, that also helped us in Sena versus Sena contest.
That's interesting to look at this Sena versus Sena contest, because there's going to be a final round of that, I guess, in the municipal election. So Robin is not going to go away from the Eknath Shinde camp in a hurry.
No, but I can show that.
You have a municipal election also, Robin, in a few months.
In the Sena versus Sena contest, there were 38 seats where it's 1 and 2, Sena versus UBT, right? 26 of those have gone in favor of Eknath Shinde. 12 of them have gone in favor of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray. Given, looking at it more from an academic rather than a political perspective, Robin, do you think the UBT can hold, or do you think the party is more likely to disintegrate? What's your reading on the back of this kind of a verdict?
I don't think they will be able to hold.
Is that the politician speaking or the statistician speaking?
No, I think because we are getting the numbers from different places where we have head-to-head contest, and we are coming very close. I think this number should improve a little bit.
So what is your final number are you looking at 60 possibly out of 85?
I think we should touch 58, is my sense.
58. So you should be, that means that the alliance itself should be about 225 is what you're looking at the Mahayuti around that, which means that you will be higher than the MVA put together. Now that's, that's astounding.
But less flamboyant than Prashant Kishore, but arguably as effective. That's Robin Sharma. Thank you very much, Robin, for joining us. Great to have you with us, and all the best. I hope you guys have a great time tonight. Let us know where the party is. Anyway, we can't come. We are here, so there's no party. Okay, you guys have a good time. Thanks, Robin, for joining us. Wish you all the best.
Campaigns which were going well, like those guarantees, it's so much so that even
So
Prime
that's
Minister Modi,
one of the election strategies. It's always good to speak to them to try and get a sense of what went into the campaign and how this was mastered. But the good thing, though, is whether it is, say, Naresh Ron, I just invited him to join us, so he'll be with us as well. He runs Design Box, and that's the agency that worked with Ajit Pawar during this campaign. It's good to see how these local satraps, Sheila, you've been covering politics for so long. Typically, kaun hai laptop wale bachcha log aa gaye, inko kya aata hai? Now they're being taken very seriously.
Yeah. And it's about huge financial game. This election is not much of a politics. It is about 100 of businessmen with crores of rupees at stake fighting an election. This is not an easy election to understand, actually.
Particularly Maharashtra. I mean, all states in general, but in particular in Maharashtra.
See, and my friend has just written that what kind of an election where onion, soybean and all prices were above, but still they have
but
won.
the Congress really didn't make it much of an issue. Right till the end, Rajdeep, is when they started speaking about soybean prices. Soybean
I think the one thing they did get was soybean. They did speak about soybean.
No, but they didn't make it
conferences,
their central.
No,
Rajdeep, what do you make your central issue?
They talked about it.
Much more than
One minute. Forget about their top leaders. Their local leaders were talking constantly about soybean. They announced a minimum support price in the last week. You know where they got the problem wrong? Is that they have no coordination between their central leaders and their state leaders and their local leaders. The central leadership is talking about Samvidhan, Article 370, taking on Modi, continuously bashing Modi, Adani. Now that doesn't resonate in some rural Buldana. Rural Buldana is worried about soybean. So the ability to localize an election is something the BJP mastered both in Haryana and in Maharashtra. And I think that's the big change. Look at the BJP. I keep maintaining, I know you all don't like, but this is the difference between 2014, 19 and 24. In 2014 and 19, BJP put all its eggs in Modi's basket. They don't need Mr. Modi's basket this time. They will give credit to Mr. Modi and he deserves it.
So that's why
this is an election which was won by the successful attempt of the BJP to hyper-localize
and that's why it was confusing, Rajdeep, because you look at rural Buldana. You gave the example of rural Buldana.
Yes.
That is where maximum farmer unrest was. It was one of those pockets.
Amravati.
It was one of those pockets, right? Saw 84% voter turnout. Saw maximum women turning out. Now, you don't know what it was. Was it before the verdict? You don't know whether it was the farm unrest which was pulling them out or the fact that you had Ladki Bahini Yojana.
All I'm saying is that the BJP's flexibility showed in Maharashtra that a party which is otherwise seen to be so centralized and run through Delhi empowered or at least chose a strategy that was designed for Maharashtra and decided we will make you travel. I'm just giving you a simple, you travel from Mumbai to Nashik. Every hoarding had Eknath Shinde, some had and Ladki Bahin. It didn't have Prime Minister Modi. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, their hoardings were about Modi. Even the general election was Modi ji ki guarantee. They realized it didn't work. You see, people don't like this to be said. Modi ji ki guarantee didn't work as effectively as
No,
Ladki
but
Bahin has
Rajdeep, you're
worked.
looking at it completely the wrong way as you
No, you
often
got
do.
it wrong. Rahul, your problem is you are
what have I
unable.
got wrong? मैंने
It's
बोला ही नहीं अभी
complex.
तक.
It's a complex issue.
Can I explain my
Okay,
point
please
of view
tell me.
before you say I got it wrong?
Yeah,
It's a
you
bit
got it
bizarre.
wrong.
You're saying I already got it wrong without hearing my point of view. I'm saying imagine if Prime Minister Modi is like Don Bradman and he's the one batsman who's scoring century after century, and that's why the BJP won between say 2014 and 24. Now you still have that Don Bradman who's still the Don Bradman that he was, and even without having him, you have enough Kohlis and Rohit Sharmas and the others to be able to win. That shows how mighty the political machine has become.
Wrong. I'll tell you why wrong.
Arre, wrong
you
case,
went,
this is the
I'll tell
fact.
you, simple. You went with Don Bradman into the Lok Sabha election. You got 17,
True.
they got 30. Please understand, same state, same constituency.
In a year when every incumbent lost across the world, how can you look at data
That's one
in such
point.
a half-baked fashion?
I am, Rahul, please. You see, the problem is you all think Farid Zakaria knows more than Indians know about
Forget
politics of our
Zakaria, I'm
country.
saying it's a
so
fact.
I denied. No, 1 minute. I'm giving you hard facts. Hard
No,
facts.
which incumbent has won?
No, sir. Hard facts is 1 minute. Here also incumbent has won 3/4. Please.
This is
look
an
at-
assembly. I'm saying
So
national.
you said this is a year. Forget about an incumbent. Both the incumbents have won today. My limited point is this. You went into a Lok Sabha with Prime Minister Modi and Modi ki guarantee. In Maharashtra, you got 17, they got 30.
30.
Because
31.
the election was playing on what? Onion export ban didn't affected you with the North Maharashtra farmers. Elections got localized. Not because the Congress tried it or MVA. वो fluke में, luck by chance में हो गया. Nothing that the Congress did. Plus, you ran a narrative on Samvidhan which got the Dalits energized
Especially in
and bring the
Vidarbha.
Muslims and came together.
So
What
the
happens then? You decide course correct. Let's give credit to the BJP. You course correct. Decide, यार local election पे, local factors पे चलना है. What does the Congress do? Just the opposite. Misread the verdict. And think that the verdict is about national issues. हमने मोदी को हराया है, हम संविधान खतरे में है, and you make it about national issues. And you get it wrong. And look at the verdict. I'm just saying, one size doesn't fit all. The BJP has been clever and flexible enough to realize that. The Congress has not. That's all I'm saying.
Also-
and you saw it in Haryana as well. How many meetings? You contrast the number of meetings Prime Minister Modi did in 2014 and 19 with 24. Much less. He realized that Mr. Modi himself cannot. You were
Yet
5-5.
you got a mandate more than
You were
2014.
5-5 in Lok Sabha. You have won the Vidhan Sabha. Why? Because you localized it. You decided Jat factor ko kaise divide karna hai.
But
OBC.
isn't it the strength of
I'm giving it
leadership,
credit.
Rajiv bhai?
I am saying it shows that the BJP is a election machine.
Now you're making the
Congress is
point
not.
I'm making. Finally, after that long argument, you've
No,
come to the
because
same
you
point
said
I
Don
made.
Bradman. Don
See,
Bradman
I said
could not play on this
without
pitch.
having
See,
Don
isn't it
Bradman
the
score a
strength of
century, if
leadership?
you win
Sir,
even then,
Sir,
it's an even bigger achievement.
Sir, Don Bradman could not score a century in Maharashtra and Lok Sabha and in Haryana and Lok Sabha. The change, you brought in new players, you changed the pitch, and you were able to
Change the
win
narrative.
in Maharashtra. That's all. You changed the narrative. I am giving credit. This,
And so quickly.
This belief that one size fits all, one leader fits all, is the
But
same
no one is
mistake the
saying that.
BJP made
I'm
in Lok
saying-
Sabha.
Isn't it the strength of the leadership of the BJP, including
Of course
Prime
it is.
Minister Modi,
Absolutely.
to realize that this is a tricky pitch
That
and
I
you
agree.
need other batsmen to play?
101%.
That's number one. Number
101%
one.
agree.
Number two, we tend to overanalyze any election result. Even in Lok Sabha, BJP's tally was more than India Alliance combined. What we are talking about here, that Shiv
In Vidhan
Sena's
Sabha
tally
seats.
in not in Vidhan Sabha seats, pan India level, I'm saying.
No, I'm talking about Maharashtra.
So it is, see,
Sir, which one?
when you go to any war, you have to do a SWOT analysis. BJP does a SWOT analysis perfectly.
Yes, but you see,
Whereas
my
point-
limited point, sir, is while you get SWOT, you got your SWOT analysis wrong for Maharashtra Lok Sabha.
Absolutely.
You course corrected.
So, theek
you
hai na?
changed. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying therefore
Rajdeep-
Don Bradman can also get out. Don Bradman
of
cannot
course Don
always
Bradman.
score 100. He didn't score 100 in 2024 Lok Sabha. He has scored 100
But
by
I think you're
changing
missing the
pitch.
point. The point is that
But-
even without Bradman scoring a century, if you have enough gas in the tank to win, that shows what a formidable rewiring of the
No,
basic
absolutely.
nature of
It's
Indian
like
politics
Don
has
Bradman
happened.
didn't even get a chance to bat. Only the openers won the match for the
But
team.
yeah,
The problem is Congress. This is an important thing. There were a few things which were working for Congress party since the Lok Sabha election. It was these guarantee cards which actually even
Images
rattled
from
the Prime
Devendra
Minister.
Fadnavis's residence.
I'm telling you, it is important to
No,
understand
that's an
why.
important
Pankaja
picture
Yes.
because you've got Pankaja
Pankaja
Munde
Munde.
there, who was seen
Bhupendra
for a
Yadav.
long time as a critic of.
Bhupendra Yadav
I'll
there.
give you another example of the
Critic of
flexibility.
cutting batting.
I'll give you another example of a flexibility. Pankaja Munde lost the elections in Lok Sabha by a small margin. The general belief was Pankaja Munde has been pushed to the margins, and there was a feeling that the OBC leaders within the BJP have not been given that due. What happens in the Vidhan Sabha? She gets an MLC seat, so she feels a little that the party is recognizing her, and they give her a helicopter. She gave her a helicopter and made her a star pracharak. Now, that is despite your personal differences that you have with Mr. Fadnavis, you do it. I maintain the BJP is a more is ideologically strong, but politically nimble and flexible. The Congress is just the opposite. The Congress is not politically nimble and flexible. A politically nimble and flexible party would have gone for a hyper-local election if you thought Uddhav Thackeray, Priyanka Chaturvedi made the point. If there was a belief that Uddhav Thackeray in the month of August was coming #1 in all polls, who do you want as chief minister? What stopped you from projecting
No, but the Congress's fear there was it might lead to an anti-Maratha consolidation.
Yes, where? These are all, you see, the point is
That was already happening. But that was already happening on ground, technically.
They wanted
No, it's not my analysis, the Congress's analysis.
Rahul, they're lying. The truth is the Congress thought that hum to jeet gaye, hamara mukhyamantri hona chahiye. You see, this is the real problem of the Congress. The Congress party thought one size fits all. चुनाव जीत गए लोकसभा, अब तो विधानसभा जीतना ही है. How do you see the BJP realize हम हार गए लोकसभा, हमें कुछ नया करना है. I'm giving the example of Pankaja Munde. You can see her on the screen. They decided that maybe Pankaja Munde can help us consolidate the OBC vote. So you give her a chopper. You remember what happened in Vidhan Sabha in Rajasthan, Rahul? When did you give Sachin Pilot some space? Right at the very end. If they had given Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot had worked together for 6 months earlier,
they would have won that election.
They might have won. They would have won Rajasthan. I am giving you self-goal after self-goal that the Congress scored. So it's not about Don Bradman. It's because on the other side, you have a party which is playing like Maidan cricket. But you need someone to play test cricket for God's sake, not Maidan cricket. Test cricket खेलो यार. Congress has no test batsman.
उनके बसी की नहीं है टेस्ट क्रिकेट खेलना.
वो आप कह रहे हैं, but ऐसा नहीं है. They have players, but they have to be used. ना test batsman को अच्छी तरह use करो.
Give something to the Congress here. See, in Jharkhand, I think it's the only non-NDA government which has repeated.
But it's led by a regional party, sir.
Absolutely.
No, and also a regional leader who was incarcerated. Remember this? See, this whole idea of plucking people, sending them to jail.
But
in all the congratulations that go to the BJP. No, it works the other way. You create sympathy for the man.
Same happened with Chandrababu Naidu also.
There's a charge leveled against him. You make an important point. Chandrababu Naidu's comeback started when Jagan Reddy made the mistake of putting him in jail. He wouldn't have been decimated in this fashion. This whole idea कि इसको फेंक दो, उसको फेंक दो, ED लगा दो, CBI लगा दो. It might seem like, oh, you're being very brave about this. But amongst people, it creates sympathy and it's never a good idea. Unless there's a solid case which is proven. Look at what the courts have said since. There must be a very deep introspection of the idea that the courts have since said that there isn't evidence against him.
So that's one point. But the fact
Finally, on one thing, Rajdeep and I agree. It's the only thing all day long that we've agreed on.
I'll give you an example. Kalpana Soren worked her socks off for the last 9 months.
53
Hemant Soren came back, worked his socks off. Mamta Banerjee, RG car hua. Everybody said Mamta Banerjee right off. What does the lady do? Travels across Bengal, sweeps all the by-elections. Regional leaders are grounded. वो उन्हीं की धरती है और उस धरती में वो काम करते हैं. ये जो national leaders हैं ना, दिल्ली में बैठते हैं and they believe कि हमको राहुल कंवल, राजदीप सरदेसाई, प्रीति चौधरी सबसे national journalist का थप्पा चाहिए कि वी आर डूइंग गुड जॉब. उससे कहाँ चुनाव होता है? मैं रूरल बुल्डाना का बोल रहा हूँ, रूरल यवतमाल का बोल रहा हूँ. वहां जाके लोकल फैक्टर्स क्या होते हैं वो तो समझो. You are right that soybean they could have.
They should have instead of holding the constitution, he should have had cotton and he should have had soybean and made that a point. The second time Rajdeep and I agree. This is becoming.
You should have made that a point. No.
Rajdeep, 23 farmer deaths per day happening. You could have ensured that the farmers are marching. Your long marches that Sharad
You should have made that.
आपको बता बड़ी joke हुई and I got into trouble for that. I went to interview a farmer in Amravati, taken by the stringer, interviewed her. The story went viral on Marathi thing. I get a call from Mr. Thackre's office. I want, can you send us the link? He then goes to the rallies, says, this story was. अरे ये तो farmer तो कब से चल रहा है? It's not as if Rajdeep Sardesai doesn't have to go to the ground to tell you farmers are committing suicide.
But Rajdeep is
you
not
should be
just
telling the people.
Taking the cause of the farmers, getting on too late. Yes. The second thing, the minute that the Eknath Shinde government comes up with the Ladki Bahin Yojana, you criticize it.
Because
You
there is
actually
no consistent
downplay it.
communication.
Then you realize 20 days on that this is backfiring.
But ma'am-
Then you come out and say,
Right.
we'll give 2100 for a scheme that you've taken to court criticizing.
But you see, Preeti, that's because there are a lot of freelancers. Every morning, 9 a.m., what Vinod Tawde said is right. At Bhanduk, which is where Sanjay Raut way, he has a place where all the cameras come, and ANI comes there, he gives a bite, next day everybody is reacting to it. Now, Sanjay Raut, you know, he's a feisty spokesperson, but he's never fought a Vidhan Sabha election or Lok Sabha. He doesn't know probably what is happening in rural Yavatmal or rural Amravati. He can't set your strategy. You see, Robin, that's where the consultant is
Too
better.
many-
Consultant would have said, told Uddhav Thackeray, sir,
The
aaj Sanjay Raut
consultant,
ko 3 month ke
Rajdeep, take it
sabbatical
in
bhej do.
writing. Rajdeep, take it in writing. The issue of the toll tax must have come through the consultant.
No, no.
It must have come through the consultant somewhere down the line because, and it's really worked on ground.
Politician बेवकूफ नहीं है. लाडकी बहन,
No, I'm not
लाडकी बहन is not some consultant idea.
Who
लाडकी
is
बहन
saying
was
Ladki
Eknath
Bahin is a
Shinde's idea.
consultant idea? I'm saying the feedback was taken.
Yeah, sure. So I'm saying, please see the Nana
Removal
Patole.
of toll tax
Nana
was a big
Patole,
issue.
good local politician, but Nana Patole would also sound out every time a mic was put. Mala Mukhyamantri व्हायचंय. What's the message? It's not as if there were no fights within the Mahayuti, but the fights were kept within closed doors because you're afraid fight करोगे, Amit Shah आपको बोलेगा, डांटेगा. यहाँ किसी का डर नहीं है. You need
कोई
some
डरता
fear.
नहीं है.
कोई डरता नहीं. Everybody's a freelancer. Everybody says what they want.
Ladki was Madhya Pradesh Shivraj Singh Chauhan's idea,
And it
not
yeah,
Shinde's idea.
Not Shinde's
No, no,
idea.
for Maharashtra he wanted
But
it.
BJP took it to the Maharashtra.
Ma'am, now,
He tweaked it.
Ma'am, 1
He
minute.
tweaked
you
the
see,
scheme.
this idea, now word guarantee was a Congress word. Brought in Karnataka, before that in Assam. BJP took it and took it to another level. You take good things that your
But,
opponents
you know-
also do. In politics, I keep
Rajdeep-
repeating one side. Maybe I should take over Robin Sharma's job. I'll make more money. That's another matter. But one size doesn't fit all.
But this time, what is more pinching to secular liberal people is that pitch was not favorable to BJP NDA. Like my friend who is a staunch secular liberal, he is writing to me, probably the first ever election won by a ruling party with potato, onion and tomato prices of over rupees 50 a kilo. When have you got such a
So what stopped the MVA from going around Maharashtra, as Rahul rightly says, with a potato in one hand, onion in one hand, and say, "Dekho, inflation kaise बढ़ी?" You don't do that, na? You have to do it.
Okay.
अडानी का press conference कर रहे हो ना?
We are joined at this time live by the IT cell chief of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Amit Malvia joins us now on India Today. Mr. Malvia, welcome. A historic victory this was Adelaide when India last toured, or 17-5 Kapil Dev in the 1983 World Cup. During the Lok Sabha elections you were down and out. अरे इतना serious क्यों लग रहे हो? हंसो, इतनी बड़ी जीत हुई है. Why are you giving us your most serious look? What do you make and how do you describe this massive turnaround in the fortunes of the NDA in Maharashtra to be able to snatch a historic victory from what looked like a very tough political situation to be in?
Rahul, thank you so much for your kind wishes. I think this is a great win, no doubt. And if you looked at the Lok Sabha results of Maharashtra, more people were in a hurry to write off the BJP-led alliance in the state. However, a closer look at the numbers will actually tell you a very different story. The BJP, in fact, led in most of the assembly segments in the Lok Sabha election. Our vote share was the highest, and we were 9% more than the Congress, which is significant in a state like Maharashtra. The NDA's vote share was also more than the Mahavikas Aghadi's vote share. Not just this, while our vote share dropped by about 1.7%, the Congress and the MVA's vote share did not rise, commensurately. So it got split. There were several seats that we lost by very narrow margins. And to give you an idea, about 37 assembly constituencies, we lost with a margin of less than 10,000 votes, 18 by less than 5,000 votes, and 19 assembly constituencies in a margin of 5,000 to 1,000. So given a tough contest on any day in the assembly election, we would have done really well. And now the most heard word, vote jihad, that we heard in Maharashtra elections. There were 6 Lok Sabha seats that the BJP lost because of massive Muslim polarization in just one assembly segment of the entire Lok Sabha. So translate that into assembly seats. We won actually 30 assembly constituencies and lost 6, but we lost 6 Lok Sabha seats. Fast forward to the assembly constituencies, it is now showing in the results that we have. And more importantly, the NDA's vote share in all the region was higher than the MVA. The BJP had the highest vote share in all the region except to Konkan, where the UBT faction had a higher vote share than the BJP. The Shiv Sena combined and the BJP led in Konkan as well. So given this kind of a scenario, it was only for us to win this election. We were always in the pole position, but the pollsters...
Okay, Mr. Malvia,
obviously read
since
the local
June
government
this year, you know, this narrative was sought to be created somehow that Prime Minister Modi's graph was on the decline, that the BJP's fortunes were on the downslide. Given what happened in Maharashtra and before that in Haryana, do you think it really kind of puts a damn squib on that entire effort to somehow say that the Modi era was coming to an end, and this starts speaking about that almost in past tense? Does this give you new energy and conviction going forward? And does it start, Parliament starts on Monday, it's supposed to be a highly contentious session given some of the issues the opposition is raising. Does this give you new momentum in your tailwinds?
Look, I think there are some people in our country who have been writing Mr. Modi's obituary for a very long time, and they unfortunately end up on the losing side. The Lok Sabha election, when most people think that the BJP hasn't done well, I want to remind them that BJP is in power for the third time. 240 is a massive number. The BJP on its own got more seats than the entire opposition put together. And if you cannot read these numbers correctly and you believe that your idea of what is a victory or a defeat is going to prevail, it doesn't work that way. Prime Minister Modi is still in office. We won Haryana massively. You know how everybody was absolutely certain that it is the Congress that is going to be winning Haryana. Unfortunately, the people had other view. In Maharashtra, I heard a lot of people who were very reticent after the drubbing in Haryana to come out and openly support the Congress-led alliance. So they made up a narrative saying, oh, it's a localized election and candidates are important. I even heard Rajdeep on one of your programs say that he has access to somebody who's followed Maharashtra election for the longest time, and he's put up a list of 174 candidates where the symbol doesn't matter, only the candidates matter.
Not 174. No, correction. You see, you must be specific. In my blog, I said the Mahayuti is ahead. I said 110 candidates who have not lost an election for the last 3 elections, and therefore the local journalists believe they will win. That has not been proved. It's a tsunami, agreed. I said Mahayuti will win, but I want to ask you this, Mr. Malvia. You put numbers which are absolutely right. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. You must hear. No, 1 minute. All your numbers are absolutely right about Lok Sabha. I just wanted to ask you one thing. There is a 6% vote share swing. What do you attribute the swing to? Do you attribute it to Ladki Bahin? Do you attribute it to Ek Hai To Safe Hai, a Hindu consolidation? What is it that you attribute as such a large swing away from the Mahavikas Aghadi and towards the Mahayuti? You've made very good points about the numbers. With one mistake, Mahavikas Aghadi's overall vote share was slightly ahead of you in the Lok Sabha. Overall, I want to understand from you what explains, according to you, such a big swing away?
First of all, the NDA's vote share was 43.91%. This is 0.37% more than Mahavikas Aghadi, which was 43.54%. So before you fact check me, check your own facts.
I'll check.
Secondly, I have to make the point that I was making before Rajdeep interjected, and I don't like to be spoken over. So let me make my point, and if you have something to follow up with, please come up with. So Rajdeep told your audience that a certain local journalist has told him that in a massive number of seats, I heard 174, he's contesting that number. Whatever that number is, the symbol does not matter. This election has proved that those who are out there to build a narrative against the BJP-led alliance have again fallen flat. Please stop taking people for granted. Please stop building narratives that don't exist. Therefore, it is incumbent that we call out such people and make sure that their commentary on issues is not taken with, as gospel and is taken with a bag of salt. And I want to call out Rajdeep in particular here because he is the champion of creating these.
I said Mahayuti is winning. Mr. Malvia, it's not about you versus me. I could turn around and say you've lost Jharkhand badly today. I don't say that. I respect
I will come
someone.
to Jharkhand as well. I will come to
but
Jharkhand.
the fact is, Mr. Nobody in the BJP also predicted 223. No, let's, when jab jeete to wo sab kuch bol sakte hai. I predicted, and you can see it on air, Mahayuti will win. You can see it in my tweets, you can see it on air. Your personal battle with me will not work. Please don't personalize it. I respect you. You should have the decency to also talk to Rahul and Preeti and others without making it you versus me. That's all.
Productive. Let me shape the question differently. While you won a big victory in Maharashtra, when I spoke to you earlier, you said, I just need some time to study the data from Jharkhand. You've now had an opportunity to go through the data from Jharkhand. Why do you think the NDA could not do as well as you would have liked to, despite the anti-incumbency, the charges of corruption against the Hemant Soren government and the fact that they were in power for 5 years? What went wrong in the BJP script in Jharkhand?
Before I go to Jharkhand, I must answer the 6% vote swing in favor of the Mahayuti in Maharashtra because it's very important to understand that. There is a big swing as a result of the Ladki Behan Yojana. There is no denying the fact. There was a lot of talk about rural distress in Vidarbha and Marathwada. No one is denying the fact that there was a bit of rural distress, but you've got to understand that the 2.5 years that the Mahayuti was in power, we did everything possible to address both the cotton price issue, even soya bean. If you remember, the Congress went ahead and made an outrageous promise of paying 7,000 rupees per quintal, but the money is not the only factor. There were constituents, there was moisture content, and as a result of which the soybean was not being picked up at the MSP, which was anyway on the higher side. Our government took note of that. We ensured in the final stages to take up the moisture content in soybean from 12 to 15, which meant that a lot of farmers could actually then sell their soybean out there. So, it's about taking corrective measures. And if you go and speak to any cotton farmer in Vidarbha, he will tell you that this government was proactively listening to them. There was a mechanism where an insurance was being paid out as high as 70%, 75% in certain cases that the cotton, farm produce went bad. So this is a government that was listening. This is a government that was addressing farmer issues. This is a government that was delivering. It is a government that focused on infrastructure for the urban cities, whether it was Pune, it was Mumbai, the metro. Today you go to Mumbai, it is a completely new city because of the crisscrossing flyovers built over, the metros that have come in, the ceiling that has come in. Pune, for the longest time, people were wanting a metro network. It was made possible because of the government. Remember, when Uddhav Thackeray was in office, all he did is to stall all these projects. So that change is really what led to this massive swing. And I repeat again, people have voted for this alliance. This has settled the question of the BJP being the single largest party and in the pole position in Maharashtra politics. The Shiv Sena's legacy issue is settled, and so is of NCP.
Will you extend an invitation to all the Shinde Sena MLAs to hop over and finish this argument once and forever, and also to the UBT MLAs and also the Sharad Pawar MLAs? Is there an open offer?
Well, I mean, Rahul, let's not get into conversations which are going to go nowhere on a television. So I have kind of put to you the reasons for the 6% swing and this massive landslide. And anybody who
is part of the swing the ek hai to safe hai? Is part of the swing ek hai to safe hai? Do you believe that worked? Was the Hindu consolidation in addition to Ladki Bahin, or Ladki Bahin was the game changer?
Absolutely. Ek hai to safe hai, it was one of the biggest reasons why we've seen this kind of mandate. But I have specifically answered the points that commentators like yourselves have been raising around rural distress and farmer distress, Vidarbha and Marathwada. Ek hai to saif hai is a raison d'etat of our politics.
So
And
why
we
did it not?
are-
So why did it? Which brings us to why did it not work in Jharkhand, where you ran arguably even a more, according to your critics, divisive campaign? I mean, your social media advertisement had to be pulled off because it was seen to target Muslims. There was the whole infiltrator Guspetiya point. Why did what you say Ek Hai To Safe Hai worked in Maharashtra? Why did it not work in Jharkhand, according to you?
Good. So now we will talk about Jharkhand. In Jharkhand, as we speak, the seats are being counted, and the JMM and the BJP, the two major parties, they are in a dead heat at the moment. We are at about 28-30, both the JMM and the BJP. Clearly, our allies haven't pulled the weight, and Jairam Mahato's factor has played spoil sport. While he hasn't won any seats on his own, he has taken away a large chunk of our votes and has probably impacted on as many as 9 to 10 seats. So that is the difference. On the reason why the Jharkhand mandate looks like what it looks, the answer is infiltration. The answer is demographic change. And we are absolutely unapologetic about the campaign that we ran there, because we believe that the demographic shift in the Santhal region is completely obliterating the tribal identity, and we will continue to make that point. It's a national security issue. It starts from West Bengal, goes all the way from Malda, Murshidabad, up to Jharkhand and upper echelons of
But
Bihar.
you couldn't have lost only because of infiltrators. Surely you've lost the tribal vote. Hemant Soren has won the tribal vote clearly. He was put in jail. He seems to have got a lot of sympathy for that. Surely it's not just infiltrators. It's a pretty big, comprehensive victory there for the India Alliance, is something you can't deny. And that's one of the few places where the Congress also seems to have pulled its weight, unlike your allies.
Look, I started off by saying that the JMM and the BJP are almost in a dead heat. So both the parties have actually got almost 28 to 30 seats, and they are still being counted. So let's not just get very excited and
No,
start
they've won in the tribal belt. You won in the non-tribal seats broadly. They've dominated tribal seats.
Because of the massive conversion and infiltration that has happened in the tribal area, which has changed the demographic composition of that area. And that is why the converted tribal, the infiltrators put together, makes up for a larger constituent of the...
But Mr. Malvia, it can't just be the infiltrators and the converts, sir. You also put Hemant Soren in jail. Would you concede that there was, at some level, a sympathy factor that a tribal leader was put in jail? The bail order says that there wasn't enough evidence established against him, and that potentially could have gone against you, even if all the charges about conversion and, if all the charges about conversion and infiltrators are correct. That's not enough for them to win in this fashion.
Rahul, if there was a sympathy for Hemant Soren, then he on his own should have been at the majority mark and not languishing around 28-30. Let's be very clear. And because you're a tribal leader, that does not give you the sanction to indulge in corruption. As far as his bail is concerned, a single judge bench of the High Court had given him bail. It is under challenge. And there is always the Supreme Court to go to. So it's not as if, winning an election or getting a bail, a temporary relief, and implies that you are kosher. And there are tribal leaders in our party also. Babulal Marandi is a very tall tribal leader. Arjun Munda is a very tall tribal leader. And clearly, it's not as if he owns the entire tribal vote. It doesn't work that way. We have far more tribal leaders in our ranks than perhaps the JMM does. In fact, Champai Soren, the former CM of Jharkhand, and a long-standing aide of Hemant Soren, is also in our party. So, let's not make it sound like people of certain social denomination have the sanction to be corrupt when they're in office. Of course they don't. And I again
Mr. Malvia, let's draw with what's...
as one way as you would like to believe. If you look at it closely, you will find that there are a lot of factors that are still in the play, and it is a state that we want to rest, and I'm sure we will work towards it.
But Mr. Malvia, draw with what's happened in Jharkhand, now what you're going to be facing off where the national capital is concerned. Similar play out, you had a leader in jail. You might not say that there was a sympathy factor. Kalpana Soren did milk it in a lot of ways and she was one of the star performers there as well. Similar thing in Delhi. You've had an Arvind Kejriwal who's been in jail, who's going to be fighting an election. Let me add a question to it. When it comes down to, call it freebies, reveries, yojanas, welfare schemes, you yourself say that the Ladki Bahin Yojana has worked wonders where Maharashtra is concerned. This is something which intrinsically the centre has been against. Prime Minister Modi has been against giving out these schemes. Is that going to change now, going forward, in a Delhi, in a Bihar?
Look, we have to be pragmatic to the realities of India's politics. While we believe that we must provide support to everyone who needs it, we also have to understand that there is a certain constituent that needs greater state support, and we will do what is the right thing to do. But as far as Delhi is concerned, it's too premature to comment on it because much water has flown in the Yamuna, and that too unclean water, which hasn't been attended to by the Kejriwal government. So we'll come to Delhi when we come to it. Right now, we are looking at Maharashtra and Jharkhand elections, and I think we've done phenomenally well.
Amit, what will you tell those from your opposition who say it's 1-1 today? What will you tell them? If they turn around today and Congress says 1-all, what will you tell them?
I would ask them to go to the Congress headquarters and see for themselves whether it is 1-1 or is it 2-0. It's as simple as that. And if anybody thinks this is 1-1, well, good luck to them. This is exactly how Congress behaved after winning 99 seats in Lok Sabha. They thought they had won a full mandate, and you see what's happened in Haryana, Maharashtra.
What did you make of Rahul Gandhi's campaign and the manner in which he was brandishing the constitution, speaking of reservation, even though this was a local election, and targeting one particular corporate house and building this whole Maharashtra versus Gujarat narrative? How do you see that having played out in your lens at the hustings?
Look, I have said this publicly and I've said this several times that George Soros and his henchmen cannot help Rahul Gandhi and the Congress win elections in India. This is a script out of George Soros's playbook. We saw this play out in the American election. We saw exactly similar thing being said by Rahul Gandhi. Now, I don't understand why Rahul Gandhi would do bidding of a geriatric investor based out of the US unless he thinks that he can somehow help him win elections. It's not going to happen. Rahul Gandhi can target whichever corporate group he wants. The corporate group will defend itself. But I have a larger concern around his politics, because if you're going to target the entrepreneurs of the country, if you're going to target big businesses who create employment and job opportunities, then there is a problem. There's a problem with that mindset. And the last
but big businessmen are not allowed to get caught in. Not every big businessman gets caught in bribery, serious bribery charges. So, I mean, when you say that, you're right. Big business cannot be targeted, but if you're caught in bribery, surely you should have a stronger line and say anyone who violates the law must be acted against.
3 days ago, India's Competition Commission has fined Meta and WhatsApp for $25.47 million for sharing data. Now, clearly, I haven't seen a single response either from the Democrats or the Republicans on the statement or the fine imposed by the Competition Commission here. So if
you can't compare that to bribery, sir, of government officials. Let's be clear. Bribery of government officials, and their Andhra Pradesh government, which is not your party, but you seem going out of your way to somehow or the other say that that's okay, that's kosher, that's targeting a businessman.
I again repeat myself, it is for the concerned corporate to defend themselves in America. And if there is a wrongdoing here, as has been alleged by the American court order, then it will be investigated. All the 4 state governments are actually of Congress and their alliance partners.
No, there was a central government of the J&K run under central rule, but that's another point. The point I want to ask you
point. Let me answer that. Don't get excited. Yes. Let me answer that. That was during Satyapal Malik's tenure as the Lieutenant Governor. We all know that his tenure is under CBI investigation even before this came up. So we know exactly what we are doing.
Okay, let me ask you then in conclusion, the final big question, kaun banega Mukhyamantri? Shiv Sainiks who have come on our show say it should be Eknath Shinde. Do you believe as a BJP Karyakarta that it should be Devendra Fadnavis's time has come, that he deserves this moment?
I know one thing for a fact, that this is a win for the BJP-led Mahayuti. The decision on who will be the chief minister will be decided by the partners and eventually endorsed by the BJP's parliamentary board. And let that happen as it happens. It's not something that we can discuss or debate.
What is your preference? You must have a preference. Do you believe that
You're trying to get him into trouble.
No, I'm not getting him into trouble. And I think
he's not going to answer that question.
Shiv Sainiks are coming openly on the show and saying it should be Eknath Shinde. Why is the BJP hesitant? Surely this is Devendra Fadnavis's moment in the sun.
Look, my concern right now, Rajdeep, is that it would be nice if you could be a little unbiased in your coverage. Who becomes the chief minister is for us to decide. Leave it to us to decide. We will do it.
Okay.
It's not for television studios. Let's focus on what you and I can do here. And my suggestion to you is that try and report what you see and not what you want to see. I think that will make for good. So let's close it here.
Okay, I will take that. Only since this is the first election I've got right in 2024.
For joining
I'm going to
us.
keep pressing the point that I said Mahayuti would win.
I want
But
to
that's
go
okay.
across very quickly. Thank you, Mr. Malvia, for joining us. I want to go across very quickly to Praful Patel from the Ajit Pawar NCP. They've performed phenomenally well. He's in the meeting of a party. He's in a party meeting. He's joined us from there. Mr. Patel, welcome and congratulations. This is a phenomenal victory for your alliance.
Thank you, Rahul. I think this has been a great moment for us. And this has been a great moment for us. And for the entire Mahayuti, everybody worked together. And our schemes were so beneficial for the people. And especially women voters came out in large numbers. So we are very happy, of course. And I think this has been one of the most spectacular victories in the history of Maharashtra. It's not just about this election.
Your
And
mentor...
here I'm just showing the camera.
Yes.
Mr. Ajit Pawar is here.
Oh, how nice.
Can we say hi to him? Can we
Yes,
congratulate
you can speak
him?
hi to Mr. Ajit Pawar. He's here.
Ajit Dada, Rajdeep Sardesai here. Sir, namaskar. Rajdeep Sardesai here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
बहुत बड़ी
Thank you.
ये लोकसभा के बाद
Hello.
ये बड़ी
Yes.
No, but the question really...
No, he can answer also. He can say more than just that. You can turn it again to him and say, आपको ये जीत कैसी लगती है? I'm asking him. Can he give a reply?
Our victory has been spectacular. It is a combination of all three parties working in coordination, minus a few seats here and there. 95% of the seats, all the parties worked in sync with each other. The other biggest factor is that the narrative, the fake narrative of the Lok Sabha, where the constitution will be amended, where a reservation will be abolished, all that has been completely demolished in this election. And the other factor, the farm prices of onions and some other crops were very low during the Lok Sabha election, which worked to the advantage of the opposition. But in this election, there are no such issues. The real issue is only of good schemes, good development. In fact, Maharashtra has taken the lead in investment in industry, and also the infrastructure development of Mumbai and the entire state has been something unprecedented.
Praful Bhai, the NCP Sharad
And
Pawar is at 12 seats.
Our Ladki Bahin scheme
where
has been
does-
a runaway success. Women, irrespective of caste, creed or religion, have voted across the line overwhelmingly for the Mahayuti.
So where
and that
does it
is why a lot of
in
the
your moment-
surprises which you see
Sir,
are
in your moment-
there in the
in your
seats.
moment of
And
triumph,
even where some of the
Mr.
Congress
Patel-
or NCP leaders are winning, it's with very slender margins. It's not really a victory even for the few seats that the opposition has won.
In your moment of victory, is there a little bit of sadness? Your guru, your political guru, Sharad Pawar, is only 12 seats, winning 12 seats. Is there an element of sadness there or not? Would you like to see a grand reconciliation or not?
Well, I would not want to say anything at this stage except the fact that we wish all of us were together at one time. That's gone past the deadline. Now it's too late. We are fighting separately and we have won convincingly. And the fact of the matter is that the Mahavikas Aghadi is in total shambles. And that is, I would say, something which all three parties who are lost will really have to now worry how to even get their act together.
Is there a bit of remorse in the sense that you're at 39 seats at the moment, the BJP at 124? They're so close to the majority mark that they don't really need too much of the NCP of Ajit Pawar and yourself. They are so close to the majority mark that they're pretty comfortable even by themselves.
Let me assure you that we have, even before the election, all of us decided to work unitedly, irrespective of how many seats we are winning or they are winning. And the fact of the matter is that we have all decided that no matter what the number, we will all be forming the government together. Now, who will lead the government is not something we have to take a call alone, that all three parties will sit together. But I can tell you, Mr. Amit Shah just called Mr. Ajit Pawar also. Of course, he spoke to Shinde ji. And it is decided that we are all three going to be forming the government together.
And who should be the chief minister, Mr. Patel?
Alliances are there to stay. Alliances are not meant to be just use and throw, okay? And
Who should be the chief minister? Who should be the chief minister? Who should be the chief minister?
Well, again, that is one question that only three parties, when they sit together, can answer.
Your
Nobody
choice.
can take a call
Your
without
choice.
sitting together.
Your choice. You must have a preference.
Anyway, I think we are very close to it. You'll hear it by tomorrow or day after, because we have to form the government by 26. So you will see a formation in the government. Who gets how many seats in the government and all that will, of course, be a matter of detail. But the chief minister's position can only be discussed when the three parties sit together.
One last question before we let you go. In the manner in which Mr. Gandhi attacked, a corporate group, tried to turn this Maharashtra versus Gujarat, what do you make of the verdict of the voters in keeping with the kind of campaign that was mounted?
Well, Mr. Modi is a national icon. Of course, our Prime Minister, but at the moment, there is nobody who can match his popularity and his appeal. And the very fact of the matter is that he has transcended borders. In Maharashtra, if somebody tries to market Mr. Modi as a Gujarati and therefore he's not doing justice to Maharashtra, it won't work. And that's very evident in this election. And also the fact is, Mr. Gandhi just comes and attacks an Ambani or an Adani, has nothing concrete to offer to the people. So this is definitely going to not give him any results. And it's been proven time and again in national elections, in various state elections. And that's a repeat in Maharashtra also.
Lastly, what's your message to the 12 NCP Sharad Pawar MLAs who won? Are you saying, come join us? Ek ho jate?
Well, now at this moment, you're asking me too many questions. Just let the victory and sink in from our side, and let the defeat sink in to the other side. We'll see what happens later. We don't have any personal angst against anybody. The fact of the matter is that we decided to go consciously as a party in alliance with the Mahayuti, the BJP, and I think it's a vindication. The Lok Sabha was an aberration. People wrote us off as NCP because we were only fighting 3 real seats. Fourth one was only a filler seat. And if out of 4, if you win 1 and you write off NCP, it was not a fair assessment. But anyway, it's proven now that we fought 56 seats and you have seen our strike rate. Mr. Shinde has also done well and the BJP has done exceedingly well. So I think we are all very happy. Let us enjoy and rejoice the victory for a while. We'll give you more answers as our meetings progress. We have a meeting at 3 o'clock of all the 3 parties, including both the deputy CMs and the CM. After that, we'll let you know.
Okay. You've literally joined us from the middle of a meeting. I deeply appreciate you taking out time and accepting my request. Thank you very much, Mr. Patel, for joining us. Enjoy the party, the political party.
Just one very interesting micro detail, Nala Sopara, which made the headlines 3 days ago because that is where the allegations were made of cash for votes and money being in the hotel. Rajan Naik of the BJP is leading over Kshitij Thakur. Now, Kshitij Thakur is one of those MLAs who's been heavyweight MLAs who's been winning 3 elections. So both he and his father, the BVA, the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, who've dominated the politics of Vasai Virar and areas, are losing. So what this election has shown, when there's a tsunami, even heavyweights have started losing of a kind, as I said, who've not lost 3 elections and more. So
Thorat is the biggest example of that. 35 years, Thorat hasn't lost an election and he's trailing.
So, you know, the man who hoped to be the chief minister if there was a Congress government in
Prithviraj
Sangamner.
Chavan is trailing.
Prithviraj Chavan, less surprising. You know, he's had a tough time, but when Balasaheb Thorat starts losing in Sangamner, you know that this is a landslide election. These are constituencies and leaders who've not lost for years and years on end. So it's a combination, Rahul, of various factors led by, I think, by Ladli Bain and variety of other factors coming together.
Can I just make a cricketing analogy to say that at the time when, you know, you played one innings each, the MVA had, you know, an innings lead. They're starting from 30 versus 17. So they start with an innings lead and yet find a way of botching this up. So it's not just the victory. It wasn't even Stevens at the end of the Lok Sabha elections.
With one caveat, which I think Amit Malvia made, and I think that's right, that while the numbers look 30-17, in Vidhan Sabha segments it was very close. In vote share it was close. You know, the BJP built on what they had lost in 2024. The Congress squandered it.
I'm joined at this time, live and exclusive, and for the first time since this verdict came out, by one of the key architects of this victory on the Ajit Pawar side. You know, we just heard from Praful Patel. I'm now joined by his chief strategist. We've got Naresh Aroja joining us. Naresh Arora runs Design Box. Before this, Naresh worked with Ashok Gehlot. He's worked with Congress campaigns, comes from Punjab, ran some campaigns for independent candidates in 2017 by himself, ran for the MLA candidate. And from there has now set this up, worked with Ajit Pawar and was in some ways responsible for the image makeover of Ajit Pawar, getting him to don pink, smile, reach out to women, give interviews to people like us who otherwise would have had no hope of getting an interview with Ajit Pawar, but basically open him up to the public, open him up to the media. So we've got Naresh Arora now joining us on this broadcast. Naresh bhai, welcome. You know, you've got quite a phenomenal strike rate for actually, you're wearing pink yourself. You get your client to wear pink and you're wearing pink yourself. This is a big victory. 39 out of 59 odd seats for the NCP Ajit Pawar faction. You struck gold in Maharashtra.
Naresh, can you hear us?
Okay, give us a moment. We'll try and fix that.
Okay, but it's interesting, you know, the reinvention of Ajit Pawar is one of the more interesting phenomena. Anyone who covered Maharashtra politics said the one thing, Ajit Pawar never smiled. And the other thing was Ajit Pawar never, or if ever, gave interviews. If he gave it, a very bruised short, couple of bites. Over the last 3 months, he's given more interviews than he's ever given in his life.
No, but I asked him this question, and to which he said, listen, it's not like I didn't want to speak to you. It wasn't my job. I was the karyakarta on the ground, the worker. There was no reason for me to speak. Supriya Sule and Sharad Pawar were our national leaders. They had to speak. I never had any reason to speak.
No, he gave us the first interview, if you recall, during the Lok Sabha. And that in itself was unusual because he'd never given an interview until then. First time spoken in Hindi. Even the interviews that he had given until then were always in Marathi. And I was very impressed with Ajit Pawar because at the end of the day, Ajit Pawar also gets up every morning 5, is up in his office at 6 a.m. He's a very hard-working politician. Perhaps...
He wakes up at 5. Eknath Shinde sleeps at 5 and that's the cycle of Maharashtra politics. Naresh Arora is with us. He's on point and on brand. He's wearing pink. You got your client to wear pink and you're wearing pink yourself, exuding pink and smiling at the end of what's been a hectic campaign, but you've struck electoral gold in Maharashtra. So congratulations, Naresh.
Thank you, Rahul, and thank you, Rajdeep. As Mr. Pawar has already tweeted, so Maharashtra has chosen pink, so it's befitting that I should be wearing pink today.
Were you expecting this result, 39 out of 59 odd seats, or is this even better? Because Sharad Pawar's faction is reduced to just 12. This is a complete turnaround from the Lok Sabha campaign where the strike rate is 1 out of 5. You know, the tables have completely turned in terms of which is the real NCP.
Well, of course, when Rajdeep and Rahul, both of you were in Maharashtra, we were discussing and I was confident that we'll be touching somewhere around 35 to 40 seats. And To be honest, 40 was not the number we were looking at. We were aiming for, but yes, something around 35 we were confident that we will be achieving. And we were contesting 57 seats on our symbol, and out of that, we should be around 40. But my numbers are suggesting that there is one seat where we are marginally trailing. So I think we should be touching 40.
You know, what according to you changed between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha? Quite apart from you joining hands with Ajit Pawar, I'm sure that had some impact. But what according to you was the major factor that changed between Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha so much?
See, apart from whatever the government schemes and the campaign and the projection, etc., there was one thing which Ajit Pawar had to understand about the change of his role from an administrator, which everyone vouches for him from opposition to the people who are in power. He had to take on the role of a vote getter as well. He was a person who was reluctant for media. He never used to speak to media. He was never going out for public meetings and the interactions that a vote getter should be doing or a party president should be doing. So first of all, it was the change required for him to understand that he has a bigger and a different role now. Once he understood that that is his role, of course, you could see everything changing on the ground, from Jan Samman Yatra to the adoring of the pink color and getting to the women folk fair to see that they connect with him, whatever he's wanting to communicate. And mind you, Rajdeep understands Marathi more than anyone else, that he is a very good orator as well. So that those oratory skills were not being utilized as the way they should have been for a leader who's wanting to have votes for his party in his name or on his symbol.
But why, may I ask you why pink? May I ask you why pink? And is it true that you asked him to smile more?
Well, Rahul asked the same question to me on the India Today conclave, but it's not that I have to ask him to smile more. It's just that he needs to speak to people more. And while speaking, of course, his original self does come out. And one other thing which I told that time also, that probably for 30 years that he's not been smiling or has not been seen smiling, probably that is why people notice it more.
You know, you worked with Ashok Gehlot before this. What's the difference between working for Ashok Gehlot and working for Ajit Pawar?
Both were different experiences, but when you work with a regional setup, the decision making is quicker and faster. There are less number of tables through which the files pass. So that gives the freedom of implementation at a faster pace, because an idea is only as good as its execution. So whatever ideas are discussed, there is a small group of people who discuss and then they decide, and then implementation becomes easier. Whereas with a party like Congress, even with Mr. Ashok Gehlot at the helm of affairs, he still had to follow a lot of protocols of the party and take the central leadership into confidence and probably have some very difference of opinions on certain stages, which I'm sure that they do now. That what happened in Rajasthan, there was an election for them to win, and they just let it.
You know, you worked with the Congress in the past, Naresh. Where do you think the Congress in particular and the opposition in general got this campaign so horribly wrong? Do a SWOT analysis.
I see there are multiple levels where I was surprised, in fact, that the opposition was the way it was running its campaign. Starting point being not being clear of what to do with the Ladki Bahin Yojana. They were very confused about it. They didn't know whether to criticize it, whether to endorse it, whether to approve it. And surprisingly, a lot of opposition candidates, once the Ladki Bahin Yojana was successful and its implementation was happening the way it was, they started trying to take credit of that scheme also as on an MLA level. So there was a lot of confusion with that, number one. Secondly, I think they left the playing field open for too long. They should have been on the battleground, I think, at least 60 to 70 days before they started. And third thing, which was, I think, the biggest thing which would hurt them now, is that when the ticket distribution was being discussed, of course, there are differences in every alliance. The parties are, of course, jostling for seats from each other, but they let it out in open for too long. So I think once the tickets were settled, and then they sprung into the race with whatever the guarantees they were promising, but it was too late in the game for people to even remember those guarantees. And to be honest, even the promises that as NCP or as Alliance, as Mahayuti, what we made, they would have also not reached people as much as Ladki Bahin Yojana reached, because every promise dissemination requires time, it requires planning and execution. In our campaign, because we had the luxury of time, which we generally don't have with the Congress campaigns, our party, despite of not having any cadre, we were able to touch 18 lakh households. 18 lakh households. And those household touching is resulting into the votes into the seats also, where we were marginally behind also. So those seats have come to us. So I think they were late in the game and they were confused about it. There were a lot of confusing signals from every leader coming out of it, despite of them running a very cohesive campaign during the Lok Sabha elections. But this time around, I think there was a lot of confusion. Probably they were smelling power, they were sensing power, and that is why the tug of war was there. I don't know about that, but on the face of it, I could see that whenever we used to sit and discuss that, they were very late in the game.
But Mr. Arora, how do you stem the confusion in your own department? Because messaging was key, especially on certain key areas. When it came down to Mr. Ajit Pawar, especially on the cutenge-butenge issue, he walked a very tight rope line. He needed to give up the, in terms of messaging, not really play the field because he had a sizable Muslim support as well. So what was your input on that? How did that kind of messaging get dispensed out?
See, our take was very simple from day one, that NCP needs to have its individual identity. It needs to tread the path that they have done till now, keeping in mind the alliance dharma. And wherever it came to positioning themselves on issues where they have had an ideology, and it is not just with this particular slogan which you are talking about, I'll just take you back 2-3 months. There were 2-3 major incidents which happened related to the minority community, in which Mr. Ajit Pawar took a very clear stand, including that was the Waqf bill. And then there was a Vishalgarh incident. So Ajit Pawar was very clear of what his stand is, what he stands by. And that BJP had accepted that, okay, fine, this is your territory, you can be what you want to be. And Ajit Pawar was very clear that this is what I have prayed my entire life and my ideology stands for this, I will be standing for that.
Interesting Naresh Arora, you...
I have a couple of more questions.
Yes, go, please. No,
so you're usually an astute observer of national politics. What impact does this 1-1 scoreline, Maharashtra, massive victory for the NDA, India Alliance winning big in Jharkhand, what impact does this have in the immediate on the discourse in national politics?
See, with all due respect to the victory of India Alliance in Jharkhand, Maharashtra is something very different. Maharashtra is the financial capital. Maharashtra is the hub of all politicking after Delhi, despite of being far away from Delhi. So Maharashtra victory matters a great deal in national discourse. Yes, the victory for opposition in the Jharkhand elections will give them some heart to keep going. But other than that, I see that the NDA government at center getting more confident about their performance or their next years in power, because the verdict in 24 was not that resounding as they would have liked. So I think that Maharashtra victory will give them a lot of heart and confidence to go forward. And next step, I think they would be focusing very, very prominently on Delhi.
And what would you leave, where would you leave the Congress? What does, do you believe that the Congress has to completely reboot, make major changes in the way it runs, including right at the very top?
And get Naresh Arora back.
Yeah,
he used to be with the Congress. Now it's a bit of a daggers drawn situation.
He's got a problem.
Are you willing to go back and pad up for the Congress again?
And if so, how would you do it? What would you do? If you had one piece of advice to the Congress, what would it be?
I can't advise Congress party anymore because, first of all, I'm not officially working with them. Secondly, Rajdeep, you have known that I have been very vocal about the requirements Congress party needs to look into. The small victories here and there give them a misconception that they are on the right path. The path is still not right. The way they run and the way they function, it needs to change drastically. And I don't think so they are up for it. But they are very important for India's democracy. They are an opposition party. They are the biggest opposition party. So I hope that they learn from something somewhere. Because after 24 parliament elections, one could see that after 99 seats, the atmosphere was like as if something has changed turned on its head. But that was just one step towards whatever they have been aiming for. They need to understand that this is a long drawn battle and they can't be always preparing for the next election. They always think about the next election. They don't think about the election that they are contesting. In that election, they need to put their head into, they need to spend time. You can't buy time with money, but you can defeat money by time. And that is where I think they lack, because they keep complaining about resources crunch, etc. But with time, you can make up for that. But with resources, you can't make up time. So that is my only advice to them, not today, but it has been since the day I've been working with them or I had worked with them.
Okay. Naresh Arora, in your pink there, I possibly...
So what's your reading of what happens in Delhi? If you were to predict Delhi at this time on the back of this big victory, which side would you pick? Why?
I think, Rahul, I have no data on Delhi. You know that how in Gors we were in Maharashtra and I didn't even go to Delhi for 4 months. So once I go to Delhi, probably I have a better idea. But if I see from far away distance, I think there'll be a tougher battle than it has been in last 2 elections.
Okay. Naresh Arora, in pink at the Oberoi suite, that he's got a good life. He's been overlooking the sea. Good luck to you and well done.
But it's a tough life. It's a tough life.
It's tough. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes or no? क्यों?
Yes or no?
It's a tough life.
Oberoi suite में आप और हम भी बैठ जाते हैं.
Complete yes, Rajdeep. It is a complete yes, Rajdeep. You only see me where you are naming me to be, but you don't come to me with the ground campaigns. One day you should, and then you'll probably have a different idea about it.
Okay, fair enough.
But tough life also, because take, for example, a rooted politician like Ajit Pawar, to convince essentially someone who's a strategist, who doesn't speak Marathi, is a Punjabi in Maharashtra, and this is a Zameen se utha hua neta. It's not an easy ask. You know,
and to Ajit Pawar's credit,
you know, the likes of Naresh Arora have a very tough time. It's not easy. You come with your laptop, young kids giving advice about Maharashtra to the guy who's lived there all his life.
Frankly speaking, Ajit Pawar, you know, ever since he came out, he genuinely wanted to understand how much of NCP voters from a data point are with him and how much are with his uncle. You know, and he throughout...
But he also listened. Ajit Pawar
he has been listening because he, you know, there is only so much that he can now trust from, because the entire onus of the party leadership is now on him, which so far wasn't the case because Sharad Pawar was doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I think Naresh made a good point. For his entire political career, he's been the administrator. That's the role that he's been. That was his self-image.
Looking out
Suddenly he found himself in a very different role, making that adjustment not easy. And good, you know, all credit therefore to Naresh for being able to achieve that and being able to do it.
But ultimately, you have a point. Amitabh Tiwari has a point. Go on.
Nareshji, many congratulations. Amitabh this side. Can you elaborate on the specific strategy? Did you have some specific strategy for the Sharad Pawar contest, or it was same for all the seats you had?
To be honest, Amitabhji, there was nothing of that sort that we were thinking about it. Our only agenda was to put our head down and see that how our strong candidates are. First of all, the understanding which NCP had before I came in was that they wanted to contest an X number of seats. I told them that there is no point in bravado of showing how many number of seats you are contesting. The bravado is going to be how many number of seats you win. With that understanding, once we were clear that these are the number of seats which we should be ideally needing to contest to reach a certain number of seats as in our victory basket. Once that was clear, then the candidate selection to be to happen in a way that we are not compromising on candidates because of recommendations. So the complete understanding was on that count also. Once the candidate selection was complete, parallelly we were obviously doing the campaign on the ground very silently. People talk about the Jan Samman Yatra and the pink color, etc., because they are loud, they are visible, they were everywhere on social media. But I would give more credit to my team on the ground, because we had people in every constituency assisting the candidates or the to-be candidates in a way that we were knocking the doors, like, if I even have to say so myself, like RSS, to ensure that whatever schemes or welfareism has been done by the candidate itself in the constituency, irrespective of the narrative in the state, should be acknowledged and appreciated by the voters. NCP was the only party in this election and probably ever that they launched 57 constituency manifestos. Parallelly, even Mr. Ajit Pawar released a Baramati manifesto, which probably has never happened. So we tried to localize the election as much bank on the candidates and the newfound mojo of Mr. Ajit Pawar in combination, alongside, of course, the runaway winner Ladki Bahin Yojana. This combo, I think, worked better for us, rather than if you would have seen Mr. Ajit Pawar's speeches throughout Jan Saman Yatra and as well as the campaign trail, he never even accused or used anything against Mr. Sharad Pawar or anyone like that, because he was very clear. We were very clear that our campaign has to be positive, and I've always been a believer that negative campaigns will get you headlines and positive campaigns will get you votes.
Okay.
That's an important. He's got some
Naresh, nice one-liners today. Thanks very
He's
much.
on form. Itna strike rate aayega to form mein hoga na batsman.
Well, you know, out of the three, the Eknath Shinde 70%, you've got 62% Ajit Pawar, and you've got about 74% BJP. But,
85.
okay, 62.7% as per our thing at the moment. You may win a couple of more.
But the
70%. But I know.
But the difference is you start from a base of 20%. You're 1 out of 5. From there to turn it around is that much tougher because of the low base effect. आप नीचे से उठा के ऊपर ला रहे हो ना.
But just keep in mind, most of the MLAs, sitting MLAs, went with the Ajit Pawar faction. Please don't forget that. The sitting MLAs did, and most of them, as I said, had their base already settled.
And
I'm not saying it's easy. He deserves credit, as do all the three. I just want to say on the other side, you had Sunit Kanugulu. A year ago, you were felicitating him, celebrating him after Karnataka and Telangana. Nothing is permanent in life and in the life of a consultant. Both of them now will have to, and he's now a member of the Congress party. And the questions will be raised, how did you do your survey?
It happened in Haryana.
So he's lost Haryana and he's now lost Maharashtra.
This is a bad.
Jharkhand was driven by Hemant Soren and his team principally. So questions will be raised about on the other side. Look at K.C. Venugopal, Congress Secretary Organization. He's lost 80. Became ever since he became Congress General Secretary Organization, which is the key post. That's the key post. They've lost 80% of the seats.
When will he be replaced, Rajit?
No, so now the thing is, the only way is you send him to Kerala. There's an election there in 14 months.
Yeah.
My point is the Congress willing to take those tough decisions? That Mr. Venu...
No, but RG loves him.
No, so therefore, you see, Rahul, you can't run a top corporate if you love someone. Is he efficient? Does he deliver?
Rajiv, we've got news break coming in. Swara Bhaskar's husband is now trailing from Anushakti Nagar, and he's lost actually. Has he? No, he's still trailing. And actor Swara Bhaskar is now and her husband both are blaming the EVMs. Let's listen in quickly. Let's differ.
जैसा कि आप इलेक्शन कमीशन की वेबसाइट पे देख रहे थे, मैं लगातार जो है आगे चल रहा था, हत्ता कि 17वें राउंड तक जो है मैं आगे चल रहा था और कुल राउंड जो थे वो 19 थे। और फिर एक मिस्ट्री चालू होती है कि जो ईवीएम सुबह वोटिंग के दिन सुबह 7 बजे से लेके शाम को 6 बजे तक चली थी, उनकी 99% बैटरी निकलती है और वो 99% बैटरी जहाँ जहाँ निकलती है उसमें मेरी जो सामने वाली उम्मीदवार हैं सना मलिक जी, जो सुबह से यहाँ नहीं आई थी, शायद उनको अंदाज़ा था, हम लोग यहाँ 5:30 बजे आ गए थे लेकिन वो अब तक यहाँ नहीं आई थी, शायद उनको अंदाज़ा था। लेकिन जिस तरह की शायद महाराष्ट्र के अंदर जिस तरह की भी चीज़ें चल रही थी, उस घटना के बाद जो रुख महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति में हो रहा था, 99% की जो ईवीएम निकल रही थी उसमें मेरे से उनको डबल वोट मिल रहा था और बूथ पे वो मुझसे पीछे चल रही हैं। लेकिन जैसे ही कोई भी ईवीएम खुलती है जिसमें 99% बैटरी है, उस ईवीएम को कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी तरीके से उसमें डबल ट्रिपल का मार्जिन सना मलिक जी लेके चल रही हैं।
Fahad Ahmed was on the symbol of NCP Sharad Pawar from the Samajwadi Party, seemingly has lost his election. Rajdeep, exactly now the same line. Haryana elections, the Congress went to the EC on battery, being at 99%. You had Sanjay Raut this morning who again questioned the EVMs, and now you even have other candidates.
This is bizarre and this is the problem. You find the wrong EVMs. You see, all the candidates of the NCP Congress who won, how have they won? Are we saying that
you won in Jharkhand?
I mean, ridiculous. It absolutely, this is the problem. If you don't introspect, before we broke into that breaking news, has K.C. Venugopal delivered? He may be a nice guy. He may be a loyalist.
For the BJP, he has.
Where?
For the BJP,
For the BJP, yes, okay.
No, but it's true.
No, but the truth is, look, and you can't blame one person, but there is something systemically wrong. Have you got the right people at the right place? Have you got the right general secretaries? Have you got the system in place where you can make sure?
No, but Rahul Gandhi's been talking about changing the structure, having a separate political secretary, having somebody in charge of the north, having somebody in charge of the south. किया नहीं ना, ये बातें ही चल रही इतने साल से.
Okay, but Rajdeep, where has been the stock taking post Haryana? In Haryana, you are still not being able to pick a leader of opposition because the infighting is still going on.
Yeah, Mr. Huda is still very much around. Mr. Huda is still very much around. In fact, I got a message from Mr. Huda the other day. Strangely enough, he was watching one of our programs and he said, "ये दही मिसल आप खा रहे हो, कहाँ मिलता है?" तो मैंने कहा उसके लिए आपको मुंबई आना पड़ेगा. I said, "Where are you?" He's in Chandigarh. So basically, he's still around. He's not gone. Nobody goes away anywhere in Congress. That's okay. My point is, where is your accountability, introspection? What's the analysis that you do? A, B, C, D cost us the election. This is how we are going to change it. Unless you do that, Delhi at the moment, Devendra Prasad Yadav, their leader for Delhi, is on a yatra, Padayatra. Good luck to him. The question is, how are you going to take that yatra forward? What's your agenda?
But that
then
yatra was supposed to be Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi's yatra. So they haven't come on that yatra where Delhi is concerned, and I don't see them coming as well.
No, so
you practically left the field where Delhi is concerned.
You can't flit in and out. Priyanka Gandhi did 4 meetings. You know, there were
but
4
she's won big, okay? She's won in style. Listen, this is the first victory she's won. Her last look, but be fair to her.
Yeah, sure.
Her last campaign was in Uttar Pradesh when she ran the campaign as general secretary. The party did poorly there.
What's her margin?
From her, she's 4 lakhs plus. I mean, 4 lakhs 60 when I last saw. I mean, we can check that. But the fact is, for her to win, you know, she'll be entering parliament in her individual capacity.
Over Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah, in her individual capacity. This is her first. It's a big day for her. It's her first electoral victory.
Good luck to her. And you know, it's credit anyone who wins any election. But you've lost the big prize. It's like saying, you know, आप हमको आज आपको consolation prize दे रहे हैं, आप Wayanad जीते. You've lost the big prize. Yes, you've done well in Jharkhand, and I think we need to emphasize that. I mean, you can't ignore what's happened in Jharkhand. It's now 2-1. It's a comprehensive. Please understand, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, who calls himself Mini Chanakya.
थोड़ा हवा निकल गई.
नहीं, थोड़ा नहीं. हम लोग ही मीडिया में कहते हैं ना, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, king. He's lost. Shivraj Singh Chauhan spent much of the life. I sometimes wonder some of the ministers whether they spend far too much time. You know, Bhupendra Yadav in Maharashtra, all very good. But you're a minister in the government of India. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, charge of Jharkhand every weekend in Jharkhand. You've lost. Jharkhand is a big defeat. If this was a sole election day, the India Alliance could claim huge brownie points. It's been drowned by the tsunami in Maharashtra.
No, but I would hope after Maharashtra, Bhupendra Yadav maybe will look at the environment in Delhi, the air.
No, it shows, Preeti, it shows that you can win elections. It's not as if anyone is invincible. The BJP is not invincible.
Far from.
You've got, you know, even you've got Hemant, you have to work at an election, plan it out, have a charismatic face. Hemant Soren and Kalpana Soren were charismatic faces. Uddhav Thackeray spent most of his time in the last 3 months sulking, some believe because he was not being made chief minister. Sharad Pawar is 84. You can't expect, you know, someone advised...
Okay, Aditya Thackeray has won worldly by 8,100 votes. What a relief. 8,100 is a reasonable margin. The Lok Sabha margin was 6,500.
No, decent margin. Good luck to Aditya.
And the MNS candidate had a role to play because he took away some of the
now the question comes, what does Aditya Thackeray do? He has to then spend the next 5 years aggressively becoming the face of the Shiv Sena. Aggressively. You can't now, you know, be behind the closed doors of Matorshi. You're going to have to change the way you function. Aditya has an opportunity to become a future face.
You have a BMC election in the next few months.
So
take it away.
Put all your effort on that, and maybe you can revive your party. So Sharad Pawar 84. Somebody advised Supriya Sule, for example, I'm told, why don't you do Kharche Pe Charcha to take on this Ladki Bahin? Go out and say what you said, what Sheila said, prices have gone up. There was no response. You've got to do that. You've got to be out there, you know, among the people. Sharad Pawar 84 tried his best, but obviously not good enough. And number 3, Congress leaders. Who is the Congress face? Balasaheb Thorat was giving interviews how I'm going to be CM. He's losing his own seat as of now. Nana Patole, every time you put a mic in front of his face, was talking
and he
more
might
about...
also lose.
You know, he's struggling.
Yeah,
This
so
defeat, Rajdeep, this
point,
defeat, where the Mahavikas Aghadi is
So you had Devendra Fadnavis, face of the BJP, Eknath Shinde, face of the Shiv Sena, Ajit Pawar, face of the Pawar Sena. All of them out there. Ajit Pawar did a yatra. Eknath Shinde would do 6 meetings on an average per day. Devendra Fadnavis was all over the place.
But despite of all of that, Rajdeep, the 3 members of the Mahavikas Aghadi, even though Sharad Pawar did the maximum, had his act together, is now the biggest loser if you look at the numbers.
That's because...
And even where his party stands today.
But that's because for the simple reason that his party he lost his party.
Exactly,
That's
but
now clear.
Rajdeep, Uddhav Thackeray with Aditya Thackeray will still have a shot at redemption where the BMC elections are concerned. The Congress can still galvanize itself. But the Sharad Pawar NCP faction is now the weakest link.
It is the weakest link.
Over-dependent on Sharad Pawar.
Exactly.
All the candidates had no other narrative than carrying a photo.
You know what? If I was Sharad Pawar, what I would do?
Merge with the Congress.
Merge with the Congress. This is your only hope. Eventually, that has to happen. And
Three parties might be left. Because
yeah, so eventually, if you have to revive
He'll have no
yourself, you're going to have to
choice.
do that.
He'll have no choice
or
but to do
revive
that
or
right now.
ensure some safety for Supriya Sule. Otherwise,
But-
what will she do
And
with
Rajdeep, isn't
there
this
is
the
a complete
prime time to
CBI
do
probe
that?
now.
Because most of the biggest movers and shakers or the big leaders of the Congress have actually lost. Where Maharashtra state unit is
The
concerned.
good news today is the 5 years of instability that has racked Maharashtra is over. And that's good for India's commercial capital. You don't want instability. You want stable governments because stable governments attract investors. Maharashtra has lost out.
And hopefully we won't
let
be
people
tortured
throw
by
all
There
Sanjay
was a
Raut.
big threat that he wanted to cancel the Dharavi contract, and that would have sent Dharavi back. Now at least you can build it out in the next 5 years.
Sure. So I think it's important to recognize India's commercial capital chose stability. And after all the uncertainty of the last 5 years, at least we know next 5 years, whoever becomes chief minister knows that he's stable. So, I think from all those points of view, from a larger Maharashtra perspective, at least that chronic instability of the state is over. And good luck to that. I've called my book The Election That Surprised India. Every election this year has surprised us. Today is the scale of the victory. To some extent, Jharkhand has surprised us. We thought the BJP would win Jharkhand. So every election is
The image
surprised.
is now out of Hemant Soren. Everybody has this image, and I'm sorry, I might be sounding stereotypical, but you have this image of this tribal leader like Shibu Soren. He's quite different. He's listening to music, he's got his laptop on,
Drives a Mercedes.
tracking everything. So he's a very different kind of tribal leader, but to be fair to him, he's won and he's won in style. 55 versus 25. In the context of the way Jharkhand was set up is a phenomenal victory. It's not a small victory. And the hero of that victory really is the man on your screen right now. The first image that we've seen of him, Hemant Soren, winning Jharkhand in style. And his party, and I'll show that to you on the election intelligence dashboard. If you go and look at the numbers from Jharkhand, this is not by any stretch of imagination a small victory. In Jharkhand, 55 seats for the India Alliance, 33 of them for the JMM alone. Now remember, the JMM by itself is more than the NDA alliance put together. That is a huge victory. 22 seats for the BJP, the JMM at 33 seats by itself, the Congress at 16. The narratives can change, theories can change. It's not Kamzor Kadi. Everybody thinks Congress will be Kamzor Kadi in Jharkhand. Congress is not the Kamzor Kadi in Jharkhand.
They have maintained what they had won in 2019 election.
Everybody thought yehi Raut honge.
Correct.
Rajdeep, what do you make of that? Everybody is convinced that Congress will be the Kamzor Kadi in Jharkhand. It's not the Kamzor Kadi.
But we thought of that in Uttar Pradesh. My point, and this is again controversial, Congress gets pulled up by the regional party. Yes. You see, where the regional party is strong, the Congress gets pulled up. You remember 2011 in Bengal? The Congress had its best ever performance in 30 years, pulled up because they were with Mamata Banerjee. You remember Uttar Pradesh 2024 Lok Sabha, Congress got pulled up by Samajwadi Party. I maintain, Rahul, it's a controversial thing to say, barring Karnataka, to some extent Himachal, show me in direct fights, Congress, BJP, when does the Congress best them? No, does it happen?
Karnataka they did last.
I gave you two examples.
Himachal.
Just two. Himachal and Himachal also very small. The margin was very small.
Was very small.
Karnataka was a little
vote percentage.
Vote percent, but by and large, you need imagine if Congress and JDS were together. They'd have a better chance always in Karnataka versus the BJP. The BJP has found traditionally much more difficult to defeat regional parties that are well entrenched, whether it's Mamata, whether it's a Hemant Soren now, whether it's a DMK.
Even in these Jharkhand numbers, look at this. The BJP is 10% above the JMM in terms of vote share. The BJP is 33.3, the JMM is 23.3, a 10% gap. The Congress hasn't done badly in...
No, that gap is because BJP contested all seats.
No, but I'm saying Congress is 16%, which is not bad by Congress's stand. 16% where they were expected to be completely decimated.
And come seats contest here, Congress.
And remember, the thing is here, this is the JLKM factor. Rest is 16%.
Congress has done very well.
Basically, the BJP has been done in by Tiger Mato. You know, that is one of the subtext stories of this election. A bit like MNS in 2009 in Maharashtra, which helped the Congress party. Something similar has happened in Jharkhand as well, which they tried to deal with Amitabh Tiwari, but simply in the end couldn't.
It seems that they have pulled down, especially Ajsu, if you see, is down to 3.8%. They were 8.2% last time. And in seats where there is a good amount of Kurmi population, including Kolhan and South Chota Nagpur, it seems that they have damaged the prospects of BJP, including my seat, which is Bokaro. The Congress party is ahead, primarily due to the JLKM doing very well and bagging around 10 to 12,000 votes.
In general, though, it shows perhaps, as I said, that politics is about arithmetic and chemistry. The chemistry that you've got in Jharkhand with the Sorens getting the sympathy after Hemant Soren's incarceration,
And
Champai
also
Soren leaving him,
deserting them.
deserting them. There was a sense that the Hemant Soren got the benefit of that, Kalpana Soren's campaign. Plus, you get a third factor which comes in and takes away your vote. But you've got to try it. It might happen luck by chance. But sometimes you've got to try. What stopped? For example, the BJP already had a plan B in Maharashtra. They didn't need it. Prakash Ambedkar, put up all these small parties, get them to cut the anti-incumbency vote. You didn't need it. But it could have helped you additionally. Politics, I just failed to see whether the Congress realizes how elections have to be fought in India against a party as powerful as the BJP. And if they don't realize that, they will continue to suffer setbacks like they have in Maharashtra. But they've got Jharkhand. So they've got at least some consolation, more than a consolation prize, I would say. Jharkhand is not a consolation prize, it's a big victory. Wayanad, you could call a consolation prize for Priyanka
Wayanad
Gandhi.
was a given, right?
I think 6 out of 9 was the UP by-election figure.
7 out of 9 is what...
So, for Akhilesh Yadav, it's also a reminder that you still have a long road before what happens in 2027 UP. Mamata Banerjee recovers from the blow.
But Rajdeep, what's also interesting is look at Bihar. You have Prashant Kishore, who made his political debut. He's not doing so badly.
What is he getting?
Well, he's number 3.
And getting a substantial
But he's getting substantial seats from where he started.
But what it means, Amitabh, is come next year, when Bihar is going to be the big election in November, if Prashant Kishore still campaigns furiously, is he going to take more votes of the anti-BJP JDU vote and thereby damage the RJD?
That is what is already happening on 3 out of 4 seats. On 2 seats, their candidates are bagging almost 30,000 votes.
So what does the RJD then do in such a situation? If you were sort of advising the RJD, would you tell them go and embrace Prashant Kishore, try and work out a deal with them?
First of all, you don't have to take them lightly. That's the first rule.
You're saying Prashant Kishore could be a factor in Bihar 2025?
Could be a factor.
If he
continues to do like this,
The other thing, Rajdeep, look at Punjab. 4 by-polls. Everybody thought that the Aam Aadmi Party was receding in Punjab and the Congress was on a surge. But right now, the Aam Aadmi Party seemingly well ahead in 3 out of 4.
And
the one Congress.
One Congress, okay. So that's a state where both the BJP and Akalis have struggled in recent times. India is distinct. Every state is distinct to the other. My home state of Maharashtra has chosen one way, which I think really shows that stability. I think one of the factors we also lost out on was stability. Ladki Bahin, Ek hai to safe hai, but just the feeling that we want a stable government in Maharashtra does make a difference. And they've chosen a stable government. Mahavikas Aghadi was seen as too chaotic.
And I think over a period of time, if you see per capita income, you see overall position of Maharashtra in development indices, it has really gone down. And it is largely because that there is lack of stability and collectively, and this is how our citizens choose people. They do that decision in a very decentralized manner, but net they elect stability on an aggregate.
Nanded was also going for by-polls, Rajdeep. I think, but BJP is leading.
No, but the thing is, with 125 odd seats, the BJP can now run Maharashtra the way that Maharashtra needs to be run in their lens. They're not dependent on the allies for survival. So if there's a BJP chief minister, there's no excuse for corruption or for misgovernance. They better deliver.
Absolutely, and I think, it is going to reduce the number of ministership for the alliance partners. They won't get as many as they've got earlier. So you will see a more tighter ship being run. Now that you have 50,000 crore of additional burden on your exchequer, you will have to do certain things to actually meet that extra expense. You have to account for that. Moreover, you've promised much more than 1,500. You said much more things. I think 3,000 or something. 2,100. So you'll have to account for those additional amounts year over year. So something miraculous miraculous has to be done to bring the development story back into the state of Maharashtra. The task is cut out, be it Fadnavis or Shinde, whosoever becomes the chief minister, the task is cut out to bring the trajectory of development back into Maharashtra, ensure that there is stable, development-focused governance over the next 5 years.
And one point, Amit Malvia, when he said, we've done a lot for rural Maharashtra, that's not true. This government did a lot for urban Maharashtra, and in general, all governments in recent times have done much more for urban Maharashtra than rural. You go to a Yavatmal, there's just one private factory.
No, but you can't say that. No, one second.
No,
Now, how can you decide? Look at, here we have the mood of rural Maharashtra as evinced in the largest poll that is ever possible.
Boss.
Beyond that is your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion.
In rural, I'll show you the data.
one minute.
Rural Maharashtra.
Sir,
one second. Out of the 173 seats, Raj, let the data speak for itself. Everything else is just
I'll counter it.
138 seats for the NDA in rural Maharashtra. The India Alliance only with 29 seats. If people in rural Maharashtra were as unhappy with this government as you are saying that they were, this wouldn't be the way it is. BJP having 70 seats in rural Maharashtra, Sena at 33, NCP at 33. The Congress is 9, the Sharad Pawar faction is 9, UBT is 10.
This is where, sir, the problem comes with statistics. I will throw you statistics at you which show exactly the opposite in terms of the regional economic inequalities of Maharashtra. Look at the amount of monies that are spent in the Nashik, Mumbai, Pune corridor. 75%. Forget about an election. An election cannot decide on economic inequalities that exist on the ground. Go to a Yavatmal and you will find just one private factory run by Raymonds and that's it. MIDC has become a land bank. MIDC does not invest in rural Maharashtra anymore. You don't have deindustrialization and you actually have industrialization concentrated only and it's not now. It's over 40 years. I will throw you some figures. Bloomberg did a great article on this to show the stark regional inequalities. My takeaway from Maharashtra was go beyond the bright lights of Mumbai and Pune.
I agree.
Some parts of Maharashtra have statistics.
Sujit, but you can't speak for the voters of rural Maharashtra. The voters have spoken for themselves. The question is, who one second. Rajdeep, you can't theorize outside the data. The data theorizes itself.
One minute.
Who do voters of rural Maharashtra think will do better for them over the last 5 years, over the next 5 years?
So Maharashtra today, just a minute, sir. Let me throw you data. You're a data man, you learn business today as well. Maharashtra has slipped in per capita income among large states today. Maharashtra ranks 6th, where it used to rank 1. 2 more points suggesting has dropped from 2nd to 6th just in the last decade. Services, which contributed over half the state's output, are buoyant, but industrial growth has declined. You've got to look at the numbers. That's the number. Maharashtra is a state.
No, Rajdeep, the question before voters in rural Maharashtra was, who do you think is best suited to address your problems over the next 5 years? They've spoken for themselves and they've spoken very loudly.
I raised another point. I said, what is the challenge for any government?
Of course.
When I see governments showcasing Coastal Road, Atal Setu, Samriddhi Express, all very well. Then I suggest they all travel to Gadchiroli, travel to Yavatmal, travel to Amravati and see the other Maharashtra. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
If they don't, one day or the other they will pay a
One
price.
Congress leader is speaking out against this tirade against EVM. Santosh Lad speaking to Nagarjun Dwarkanath this time, saying that, you shouldn't be questioning EVMs in this fashion. Let's take a look. Okay, no, in fact, he's questioning EVM, saying, how can someone have this margin after 10 years of anti-incumbency?
Even if you don't hear them, you know what they're going to say.
Let's listen to Santosh Lad, the Labour Minister of Karnataka.
So Alliance is leading. In Maharashtra, you are decimated completely.
I don't know, boss. See, I'm not trying to make an issue out of it. But certainly, I think all the analysts in the whole of India, I don't know what is the mechanism why we have lost so much. The reason is, even in MP, when you see Madhya Pradesh, the ruling government has got 8% of increase of vote share. It is surprising. Even if Congress gets, I would like to know what is the reason. I'm not trying to, straight away blame, but always I'm trying to put there is a doubt, element of doubt. The reason is, could be there is a chance of tampering. The reason is, in the parliament election, same Modi ji comes and he does not get some mandate there. After 6 months, the same ruling government, which definitely runs with an anti-incumbency, does get so much huge of majority, is always a question mark. Even if Congress would have won, there has to be reasoning why it has won with such thumping majority. There has to be reason, there has to be disaster. And employment issue in Maharashtra is highest. Employment issue, especially IIT Mumbai, 38% of youngsters are not getting the job. In whole of Maharashtra, unemployment was a big issue. Highest farmer suicide was an issue there. I don't know for what people have voted. What is the reason there? Let us admit that if we are making a political allegation, I'm interested to ask the other political party, BJP friends, what is the reason that you have got 2024? Will anybody put the right hand on the left side of their chest and say, consciously they were aware that they are going to get such landslide victory? No. In the ground, nobody felt this. I'm not trying to make a blame game, but I would like to understand, as a political, anybody who is an analyst of politics, they should come back to and say, how could they get this mandate? I feel there must be a chance that the same EVM machines which was there in MP, they have bought it here, or something must be beyond this, because at any given point of time in this modern world of politics, any political party which has ruled 10 years and getting back this mandate, I personally doubt.
Naturally, people of this point, critic of this point, will say that Jharkhand, you are one. You're not blaming the EVMs. The moment Congress loses a state, you start blaming the EVMs. How fair is this?
Pick and choose, no? The Jharkhand is a smaller state. They wanted to prove their metal and a point here. They could set any machines anywhere if they want. So I would like to still understand, why could not they win Jharkhand? Then I will put the other questions. When you showed that Jharkhand chief minister was one of the most corrupt, you put him behind bars for no reason, then why did they lose there? And why did they win Mumbai? What is the reason then? There is the same technical question I can ask them. Then why did they lose Jharkhand and why did they win only Maharashtra? Why? What is the reason? Have they got any reason for that?
No, this is a loser's lament. You can't lose in Maharashtra, win Jharkhand and say EVMs were fine in Jharkhand but they were not in Maharashtra. That's just terrible. Yeah, I want to go to Ranchi. Ghulam Ahmad Mir, the unheralded Congress in charge of Jharkhand, is speaking. Last time RPN Singh did this job with some success. He's now of course in the BJP. Let's listen to Ghulam Mir.
झारखंड चुनावों के नतीजों को लेकर एक तरह से आप कह सकते हैं कि तस्वीर अब साफ हो रही है और जेएमएम गठबंधन इंडिया अलायंस को झारखंड में 50 के आसपास का आंकड़ा आता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है। कांग्रेस पार्टी के प्रभारी झारखंड के गुलाम अहमद मीर हमारे साथ। सर, ये एंटिसिपेटेड नंबर्स जैसा है या उससे ज्यादा अब रुझानों में आंकड़े दिख रहे हैं इस वक्त आपके लिए?
नहीं, 50 और 50 प्लस हमारा एक इंटरनल अपना एक्सपेक्टेड फिगर था। तो बाकी फिर जब ट्रेंड चलता है, जो कॉन्फिडेंशियल लोगों के पास होता है, वो नीचे भी गिरा सकता है, ऊपर भी कर सकता है। बट हमारा बिफोर रिजल्ट जो आंकलन था वो 50 प्लस का था टोटल गठबंधन का। तो तकरीबन अभी तक जो ट्रेंड है, अभी तो डिक्लेरेशन हुई नहीं, ट्रेंड जो है वो उसी के आसपास घूम रहा है। सम टाइम 48, 47, 50, 51,
51 के विंडो में आप
उस बीच में है। बट सुबह के रिजल्ट शाम तक आते आते बदलते हैं और सुबह जो पॉजिटिव था हो सकता है वो नेगेटिव भी हो जाए। सुबह जो नेगेटिव था तो वो एरिया टू एरिया वहां डिपेंड करता है। बट बाय एंड लार्ज वही 50 प्लस और -1।
तो ये एक है तो सेफ है, कटेंगे बटेंगे और बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिया, इसकी वजह से आप लोग दबाव में बहुत ज्यादा थे चुनाव के कैंपेन में। हर वक्त आपको ऑन द टोज रहना पड़ा कैंपेन में। क्या लग रहा है ग्राउंड पे क्या सर?
लोग उसमें इंटरेस्टेड नहीं थे। लोग इंटरेस्टेड थे दोनों सरकारों से, दोनों पार्टियों से, दोनों गठबंधनों से कि आपको हमने यहाँ स्टेट में मौका दिया है, आपने क्या किया है, वो लोग जानना चाहते थे। और भाजपा और एनडीए को सेंटर में 11 साल से दिए हैं। एज ए नेशनल गवर्नमेंट उन्होंने झारखंड के लिए क्या किया है वो सुनना चाहते थे। प्लस आने वाले 5 साल के लिए आपका गठबंधन यहाँ क्या कर सकते है इफ वोटेड टू पावर। और बीजेपी जो आउट ऑफ पावर है यहाँ पर, अगर आपको मौका दीजिए स्टेट सेंटर, आप क्या डेफिनेटली वो टोटली आउट ऑफ ट्रैक थे। वो तो जैसे कोई नेशनल चुनाव लड़ रहे थे। तो झारखंड की रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, झारखंड के एस्पिरेशंस क्या है, उसको तो उन्होंने टच ही नहीं किया।
ठीक है, एक सवाल सर, लगातार कैंपेन के दौरान जब मैं यहाँ झारखंड में चुनाव कवर कर रहा था अलग अलग जगह से, तो ये खबर मिल रही थी कि आप लोगों को कांग्रेस
So that's Ghulam Mir. I mean, congratulations to him. He did a good job in Jharkhand. The Congress has done well. The alliance is rom-tom in style. But I want to go across right now to Swara Bhaskar. Swara Bhaskar is alleging that in the seat that her husband was fighting in Anushakti Nagar, where he's lost to Sana Malik, the allegation is that there was some tampering with the EVMs or the EVMs weren't working well. Swara Bhaskar is now live with us. She was at a counting center just a moment ago when we connected. So Swara, can you explain the reasons behind you leveling this very serious charge?
Yeah, so we, as I think was reported in the media as well, and was on the Election Commission website, that Fahad has been leading in almost every round except maybe round 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. Barring that, he was leading right up to the 16th round. And even in the rounds where the margin of lead was reducing, the number of votes that both Sanaji and Fahad were getting were like about the same. From the 17th, in the last 3 rounds, which is 17, 18, and 19, this is not my allegation, Rahul. This is the allegation of the counting agents who were inside the booth, who towards the last round started basically questioning the fact that many of the EVMs that were actually most of the EVMs in those rounds were 99% charged. And and the question that they raised was that how can EVMs that have been used throughout the day on the day of polling be 99% charged? Like, how can they have barely been used? And those are the last 3 rounds, the EVMs. Those are the places where the pattern is quite unusual, right? So, I mean, you're an analyst. So, where there is a pattern of a steady lead, and even where the lead is dropping or reducing, the number of votes polled for both candidates are almost the same. How can in the last 3 rounds suddenly, there be such a huge jump? So then, and then the EVM be 99% charged. So those were the two sort of things that they found fishy, the counting agents. And now I think that they have made a demand and an application for a recounting and a matching of VVPAT slips to the machines that have allegedly been.
So what have the
fishy.
agents you spoke to at the counting center, Swara, told you? Are they willing to consider these charges and investigate them?
So when I'm not there anymore, but at the last moment they were willing to first. They said they'll go step by step, that at first they will match the VVPAT slips to the machines upon which objections have been raised. And after that, if those slips are indeed found that there is a problem, then they will order a recounting of the last three rounds, or whichever rounds that are.
But Swara, the fact is, it can't be that one particular constituency, there's rigging, the neighboring constituency where the opposition wins, it's all very well. Somewhere, you're going to have to provide much better proof than what is done so far. And it casts a doubt. It makes you all look like sore losers, to be very honest. It can happen in elections. You lose some, you win some.
That's fair. No, I don't think that anybody will not accept the result if it seems that everything is in order. Look, our job is to be very, very vigilant. Our job as the people who are part of the election, and the job of everyone who is supporting us is to be very wary. And I think that if everything was so kosher, I'm sure that the Election Commission would not accept recounting a recount or matching the VVPATs. So if they're doing it, then they're doing their job.
You're saying they've assured you there'll be a recount and the VVPATs will be matched, is it?
No, they have assured us that they are going to match the VVPATs first.
Yeah, but you can ask for a recount. If you want, you can ask for a recount. That's what happened in Mumbai Northwest during the Lok Sabha.
We are asking for a recount, and there are rules within the EC's own guidelines that are supporting our claims. So we are using those rules. So there's nothing that we're demanding, Rajdeep, that is unreasonable. Don't worry.
I think that's reasonable. She's saying she'll accept the verdict regardless of what it is. And they want to be careful and sure there's nothing wrong with it.
I think there's a rule, correct me if I'm wrong, that if the margin is below a certain thing, you can ask for a complete matching of all VVPATs. It doesn't have to be. You can ask for a complete matching of all VVPATs.
But this charge that 17 rounds tended one way, 3 had a statistical...
That can happen. I'll give you an example. Aditya Thackeray was trailing till round 15 by about 871 votes. He's eventually
but
won
it
by
can't be
8,000.
diametrically difficult.
No,
That's
he's won by 8,600. You see, it depends on which booths you get.
It depends which booths
you know,
you get,
that is the nature of politics. That argument I don't accept. The argument I think is fair is that when it is narrow, nothing wrong in matching all
No,
VVPATs.
and candidates and their families should be allowed to contest the verdict and have the VVPATs be counted and even a rebound. There's nothing wrong. And she's saying she'll accept the verdict regardless. I think that's
classic
reasonable.
case of that
We
was
wish
in
you all the
Zafur
best, Swara
Islam,
Bhaskar.
Lok
Thank you for
Sabha
joining us. Appreciate your time. Thanks. You know, it's just as well that you go through this motion, let the VVPATs be matched so that then everybody has tasalli. In the absence of that, if there's no recount, no VVPATs are, then it looks like dal mein kala. Let there be a recount. Let's see what comes of it.
ECI had also shown it as a one seat for NCP. Now they have moved it back to the leads. So they have put on hold, if you see the Election Commission website also.
Okay, so can we take a break now? We'll take a break.
So.
I'm famished. No breakfast, so it's time for lunch. Everyone's tired. So we have a full team that's ready to go. So Gaurav Sawant and our colleagues are fully set to continue with this live continuing coverage of counting day. Our phones have been really busy. Our election screens have been very busy. We've been dancing around all over. I hope you enjoyed our coverage. We'll be back later in the evening.
Fahad Ahmed was on the symbol of NCP Sharad Pawar from the Samajwadi Party, seemingly has lost his election. Rajdeep, exactly now the same line. Haryana elections, the Congress went to the EC on battery, being at 99%. You had Sanjay Raut this morning who again questioned the EVMs, and now you even have other candidates.
You know, this is bizarre and this is the problem. You find the wrong EVMs. You see, all the candidates of the NCP Congress who won, how have they won? Are we saying
how
that
you won in Jharkhand?
I mean, ridiculous. It absolutely, this is the problem. If you don't introspect, before we broke into that breaking news, has KC Venugopal delivered? He may be a nice guy. He may be a loyalist.
For the BJP, he has.
You know, where?
For the BJP,
For the BJP, yes, okay.
No, but it's true.
No, but the truth is, look, and you can't blame one person, but there is something systemically wrong. Have you got the right people at the right place? Have you got the right general secretaries? Have you got the system in place where you can make sure?
No, but Rahul Gandhi's been talking about changing the structure, having a separate political secretary, having somebody in charge of the north, having somebody in charge of the south. Kiya nahi na, ye baatein hi chal rahi itne saal se.
Rajdeep, where has been the stock taking post Haryana? In Haryana, you are still not being able to pick a leader of opposition because the infighting is still going on.
Yeah, Mr. Huda is still very much around. Mr. Huda is still very much around. In fact, I got a message from Mr. Huda the other day. Strangely enough, he was watching one of our programs and he said, "Ye dahi misal aap kha rahe ho, kahan milta hai?" So maine kaha, uske liye aapko Mumbai aana padega. I said, "Where are you?" He's in Chandigarh. So basically, he's still around. He's not gone. Nobody goes away anywhere in Congress. That's okay. My point is, where is your accountability, introspection? What's the analysis that you do? A, B, C, D cost us the election. This is how we are going to change it. Unless you do that, Delhi at the moment, Devendra Prasad Yadav, their leader for Delhi, is on a yatra, Padayatra. Good luck to him. The question is, how are you going to take that yatra forward? What's your agenda?
But that
then
yatra was supposed to be Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi's yatra. So they haven't come on that yatra where Delhi is concerned, and I don't see them coming as well.
No, so
you practically left the field where Delhi is concerned.
You can't flit in and out. Priyanka Gandhi did 4 meetings. You know, there were
but
4
she's won big, okay? She's won in style. Listen, this is the first victory she's won. Her last look, but be fair to her.
Yeah, sure.
Her last campaign was in Uttar Pradesh when she ran the campaign as General Secretary. The party did poorly there.
What's her margin?
From her, she's 4 lakhs plus. I mean, 4 lakhs 60 when I last saw. I mean, we can check that. But the fact is, for her to win, she'll be entering parliament in her individual capacity.
Over Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah, in her individual capacity. This is her first, it's a big day for her. It's her first electoral victory.
Good luck to her. And, it's credit anyone who wins any election. But you've lost the big prize. It's like saying, आप हमको आज आपको consolation prize दे रहे हैं, आप Wayanad जीते. You've lost the big prize. Yes, you've done well in Jharkhand, and I think we need to emphasize that. I mean, you can't ignore what's happened in Jharkhand. It's now 2-1. It's a comprehensive. Please understand, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, who calls himself Mini Chanakya.
थोड़ा हवा निकल गई.
नहीं, हम लोग ही मीडिया पे कहते हैं ना, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, king. He's lost. Shivraj Singh Chauhan spent much of the life. I sometimes wonder some of the ministers whether they spend far too much time. Bhupendra Yadav in Maharashtra, all very good. But you're a minister in the government of India. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, charge of Jharkhand every weekend in Jharkhand. You've lost. Jharkhand is a big defeat. If this was a sole election day, the India Alliance could claim huge brownie points. It's been drowned by the tsunami in Maharashtra.
No, but I would hope after Maharashtra, Bhupendra Yadav maybe will look at the environment in Delhi. The air.
No, it shows, Preeti, it shows that you can win elections. It's not as if anyone is invincible. The BJP is not invincible.
Far from.
You've got, even you've got Hemant, you have to work at an election, plan it out, have a charismatic face. Hemant Soren and Kalpana Soren were charismatic faces.
Rahul,
Uddhav Thackeray spent most of his time in the last 3 months sulking, some believe, because he was not being made chief minister. Sharad Pawar is 84. You can't expect, someone advised...
Okay, Aditya Thackeray has won worldly by 8,100 votes. What a relief. 8,000 is a reasonable margin. The Lok Sabha margin was 6,500.
No, decent margin. Good luck to Aditya.
And the MNS candidate had a role to play because he took away some of the
Now the question comes, what does Aditya Thackeray do? He has to then spend the next 5 years aggressively becoming the face of the Shiv Sena. Aggressively. You can't now, be behind the closed doors of Matorshi. You're going to have to change the way you function. Aditya has an opportunity to become a future face.
You have a BMC election in the next few months.
So
take it away.
put all your effort on that, and maybe you can revive your party. So Sharad Pawar 84. Somebody advised Supriya Sule, for example, I'm told, why don't you do Kharche Pe Charcha to take on this Ladki Bahin? Go out and say what you said, what Sheila said, prices have gone up. There was no response. You've got to do that. You've got to be out there, among the people. Sharad Pawar 84 tried his best, but obviously not good enough. And number 3, Congress leaders. Who is the Congress face? Balasaheb Thorat was giving interviews how I'm going to be CM. He's losing his own seat as of now. Nana Patole, every time you put a mic in front of his face, was talking
and he
more
might
about...
also lose.
He's struggling.
Yeah,
This
so
defeat, Rajdeep, this
point,
defeat, where the Mahavikas Aghadi is
So you had Devendra Fadnavis, face of the BJP, Eknath Shinde, face of the Shiv Sena, Ajit Pawar, face of the Pawar Sena. All of them out there. Ajit Pawar did a yatra. Eknath Shinde would do 6 meetings on an average per day. Devendra Fadnavis was all over the place.
But despite of all of that, Rajdeep, the 3 members of the Mahavikas Aghadi, even though Sharad Pawar did the maximum, had his act together, is now the biggest loser if you look at the numbers.
That's because...
And even where his party stands
sure,
today.
Ma'am. But that's because for the simple reason that his party, he lost his party.
Exactly.
That's
but
now
Rajdeep, Uddhav Thackeray with Aditya Thackeray will still have a shot at redemption where the BMC elections are concerned. The Congress can still galvanize itself. But the Sharad Pawar NCP faction is now the weakest link.
It is the weakest link.
Over-dependent on Sharad Pawar.
Exactly.
All the candidates had no other narrative than carrying a photo.
You know what? If I was Sharad Pawar, what I would do?
Merge with the Congress.
Merge with the Congress. This is your only hope. Eventually, that has to happen. And
3 parties might be left. Because
yeah. So eventually, if you have to revive yourself, you're going to have to do that.
He'll have no choice
or
but to do that.
or ensure some safety for Supriya Sule. Otherwise, what will she do?
And
with
Rajdeep, isn't this the prime time to do that? Because most of the biggest movers and shakers or the big leaders of the Congress have actually lost. Where Maharashtra state unit is concerned.
The good news today is the 5 years of instability that has racked Maharashtra is over. And that's good for India's commercial capital. You don't want instability. You want stable governments because stable governments attract investors. Maharashtra has lost out.
And hopefully we won't
let people
torture
throw all
There was a big threat that he wanted to cancel the Dharavi contract, and that would have sent Dharavi back. Now at least you can build it out in the next 5 years.
Sure. So I think it's important to recognize India's commercial capital chose stability, and after all the uncertainty of the last 5 years, at least we know next 5 years, whoever becomes chief minister knows that he's stable. So I think from all those points of view, from a larger Maharashtra perspective, at least that chronic instability of the state is over, and good luck to that. I've called my book The Election That Surprised India. Every election this year has surprised us. Today is the scale of the victory. To some extent, Jharkhand has surprised us. We thought the BJP would win Jharkhand. So every election is surprised.
The image is now out of Hemant Soren. Everybody has this image, and I'm sorry, I might be sounding stereotypical, but you have this image of this tribal leader like Shibu Soren. He's quite different. He's listening to music, he's got his laptop on,
drives a Mercedes,
tracking everything. So he's a very different kind of tribal leader, but to be fair to him, he's won, and he's won in style. 55 versus 25. In the context of the way Jharkhand was set up is a phenomenal victory. It's not a small victory. And the hero of that victory really is the man on your screen right now. The first image that we've seen of him, Hemant Soren, winning Jharkhand in style. And his party, and I'll show that to you on the election intelligence dashboard. If you go and look at the numbers from Jharkhand, this is not by any stretch of imagination a small victory. In Jharkhand, 55 seats for the India Alliance, 33 of them for the JMM alone. Now remember, the JMM by itself is more than the NDA alliance put together. That is a huge victory. 22 seats for the BJP, the JMM at 33 seats by itself, the Congress at 16. You know, the narratives can change, theories can change. It's not Kamzor Kadi. Everybody thinks Congress will be Kamzor Kadi in Jharkhand. Congress is not the Kamzor Kadi in Jharkhand.
They have maintained what they had won in 2019 election.
Everybody thought yehi round honge.
Correct.
Rajdeep, what do you make of that? Everybody is convinced that Congress will be the Kamzor Kadi in Jharkhand. It's not the Kamzor Kadi.
You know, but we thought of that in Uttar Pradesh. My point, and this is again controversial, Congress gets pulled up by the regional party.
Yes.
You see, where the regional party is strong, the Congress gets pulled up. You remember 2011 in Bengal? The Congress had its best ever performance in 30 years, pulled up because they were with Mamata Banerjee. You remember Uttar Pradesh 2024 Lok Sabha, Congress got pulled up by Samajwadi Party. I maintain, Rahul, it's a controversial thing to say, barring Karnataka, to some extent Himachal, show me in direct fights Congress, BJP, when does the Congress best them? No, doesn't happen.
Karnataka they did last.
I gave you two examples.
Himachal.
Just two. Himachal, and Himachal also very small. The margin was very small.
was very small.
Karnataka was a little...
vote percentage
Vote percent, but by and large, you need a... Imagine if Congress and JDS were together. They'd have a better chance always in Karnataka versus the BJP. The BJP has found traditionally much more difficult to defeat regional parties that are well entrenched, whether it's Mamata, whether it's a Hemant Soren now, whether it's a DMK.
Even in these Jharkhand numbers, look at this. The BJP is 10% above the JMM in terms of vote share. The BJP is 33.3, the JMM is 23.3, a 10% gap. The Congress hasn't done badly in...
No, that gap is because BJP contested all seats.
No, but I'm saying Congress is 16%, which is not bad by Congress's stand. I mean, 16% where they were expected to be completely decimated.
And come seats contest here, Congress.
And remember, the thing is here, this is the JLKM factor.
Broadcast, I'm Gaurav Sawant. It's a spectacular victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party led Mahayuti in Maharashtra, leading in 226 of 288 seats. Let's quickly cut across to Maharashtra. Let's quickly listen in to Devendra Fadnavis.
ऐसा मैं मानता हूं और साथ साथ मैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का तो आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, उनके कारण ही हमको ये जीत मिली है। लेकिन हमारे देश के गृह मंत्री श्री अमित शाह जी, जिन्होंने महाराष्ट्र में आकर कार्यकर्ताओं में एक ऊर्जा का संचार किया, मैं उनका भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हमारे राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व हमारे नड्डा जी है, हमारे राजनाथ जी हैं, हमारे नितिन गडकरी जी है, इनका भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हमारे जो चुनाव के प्रभारी हैं, हमारे जो महाराष्ट्र से मंत्री हैं, इन सभी का मैं बहुत दिल से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि पूरी पार्टी ताकत से हमारे साथ खड़ी हुई। और सबसे महत्व की बात है, हमारे नेताओं ने, हमारी पार्टी ने केवल बीजेपी की सीटों पर काम नहीं किया, हमारी पार्टी ने सारे के सारे महाराष्ट्र के जितने 288 सीटें थी हमारे दोस्तों की सीटों पर भी काम किया। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इसके कारण एक बहुत अच्छा यहाँ कार्य संपन्न हुआ। हमारे भूपेंद्र यादव जी, अश्विनी वैष्णव जी, हमारे शिवप्रकाश जी, इनका भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। हमारे यहाँ पर जो हमारे सारे अलग अलग प्रांतों से भी जिन लोगों ने हमको मदद की, उनका भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। हमारे पीयूष जी का मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ, हमारे शिवराज सिंह चौहान जी का भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक प्रकार से सामूहिक रूप से हम लोग जब उतरे तो ये सामूहिक ताकत एक ऐसी ताकत बनी जिसने दिखा दिया कि महाराष्ट्र ये मोदी जी के ही साथ है। ऐसा है, मैंने पहले ही कहा था कि मैं आधुनिक अभिमन्यु हूँ, चक्रव्यूह को भेदना जानता हूँ। हमने चक्रव्यूह को भेदा है और ये कोई मैं पहले भी कह रहा हूँ, वापस कह रहा हूँ, इस विजय में मेरा बहुत छोटा उसमें मैं समझता हूँ कि सहभाग है। एक ये हमारी जो पूरी टीम है, इस टीम ने इस विजय को लाया है। मला असं वाटतं की कुठल्याही लोकशाहीमध्ये एक चांगला विरोधी पक्ष असणं हे गरजेचं आहे। त्यामुळे जे काही विरोधी पक्षाचे लोक निवडून आलेले आहेत त्यांचा आम्ही सन्मान करू। त्यांचा आवाज छोटा असो की मोठा असो, ते ज्या योग्य गोष्टी सांगतील त्या योग्य गोष्टींवर आम्ही त्यांना प्रतिसाद देऊ.
It is important that the opposition leaders should be there, and whether they are small or big, we welcome them
मला ते
all.
माहितीच होतं, जर झारखंडमध्ये झारखंड मुक्ती मोर्चा जिंकला तर तिथलं ईव्हीएम टॅम्पर प्रूफ परफेक्ट एकदम जनमताचा कौल लोकशाहीचा विजय. आणि महाराष्ट्रामध्ये हे धाराशाही झाल्याबरोबर लोकशाही खतऱ्यात आलेली आहे. ईव्हीएम प्रॉब्लेममध्ये आहे, ईव्हीएम टॅम्पर झालेला आहे. मला असं वाटतं की कुठेतरी
Fadnavis is raising a question with regards to people raising an issue about the EVM and saying that in case in Jharkhand the JMM wins, then it is all right, but if it is democracy is in danger when it comes to Maharashtra if they win.
असं लोकशाहीची हीच खरी मला असं वाटतं गंमत आहे की लोकशाहीमध्ये कोणाला जनता डोक्यावर घेईल आणि कोणाला जनता धाराशाही करेल हे सांगता येत नाही. या निवडणुकीने पुन्हा एकदा ते दाखवून देईल.
Difficult to first say who in democracy will win and who the people of will not let win, but whatever it is, it has to be accepted.
अनेक राजकीय नेत्यांची बाईट्स येत आहेत की प्रतिक्रिया येतात की भाजपला आता यश मिळालं तर भाजपने मुख्यमंत्रीपद घ्यायला हवं.
या बाबतीत माननीय अमित भाई शहांनी प्रेस कॉन्फरन्समध्ये क्लिअरली सांगितलेलं आहे, मुख्यमंत्रीपद हे कुठल्या निकषावर नाही. मुख्यमंत्रीपद तीनही पक्षाचे नेते एकत्रित
Who with the chief minister will be? Fadnavis is saying that the Home Minister Amit Shah has very clearly said it in a press conference that it will be decided amongst the three parties and it will be decided later.
ते बसून जो निर्णय घेतील तो निर्णय असेल. कुठलाही वाद नाही आहे, कुठलाही विवाद नाही.
There are no issues between any of the parties or the high command. Whatever is the decision that is taken, it will be accepted.
नहीं होने वाला, क्योंकि पहले दिन से ये तय है कि चुनाव जब संपन्न होगा तो चुनाव के बाद तीनों पार्टियां मिलकर इसको तय करेगी. हमारे नेता आदरणीय होम मिनिस्टर साहब ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये बहुत स्पष्ट शब्दों में बताया है कि चुनाव के बाद तीनों पार्टियां बैठेगी और इसका निर्णय करेगी. अभी मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि हमारे एकनाथ शिंदे जी उनके पार्टी के अध्यक्ष है, अजित पवार जी उनके पार्टी के अध्यक्ष है, और साथ में हमारे पार्टी के जो राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष हैं उनको हमारा पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड ऑथराइज करता है. तो ये लोग बैठकर एक उचित निर्णय करेंगे. हमारे वरिष्ठ नेताओं से बातचीत करेंगे, हमारे पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड से बातचीत करेंगे. जो निर्णय होगा वो सबको मान्य होगा, इसमें कोई विवाद नहीं. बाबा आता पूर्ण रिझल्ट संपू द्या. आता मी आणि अजित दादा आता सीएम साहेबांकडे चाललो आहे. आम्ही बसून जरा पुढचा काय कार्यक्रम करायचा तो चॉकआउट करू आणि तुम्हाला नीट सांगू. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक प्रकार से लोगों ने अपना मैंडेट दे दिया. लोगों ने एकनाथ शिंदे जी को रियल शिवसेना के रूप में स्वीकार कर लिया है. बाला साहेब ठाकरे की हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहेब ठाकरे की जो शिवसेना है उसकी लेजिटिमसी ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी को मिली है, और जो मूल एनसीपी है उसकी लेजिटिमसी अजित पवार जी को मिली है.
या निवडणुकीमध्ये कास्ट पोलरायझेशन करण्याचा प्रयत्न महाविकास आघाडीकडनं आवर्जून केला गेला, विशेषतः मराठवाड्यामध्ये आणि विदर्भामध्ये पण वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी अशा स्वरूपाचा प्रचार केला गेला. तरी देखील विदर्भ आणि मराठवाडा याच्यामध्ये प्रचंड भाजपला यश मिळताना दिसतंय. याचं प्रमुख अॅनालिसिस
मला असं वाटतं की जेव्हा वारंवार तुम्ही एका व्यक्तीला एका पक्षाला टार्गेट करता त्यावेळी तुम्ही जे टार्गेट करता त्यातली हवा पण निघून जाते आणि त्याची तीव्रताही कमी होते आणि लोकांना त्याचं सत्य समजतं. लोकांच्या मनात त्यानंतर एक प्रकारची सहानुभूती तयार होते. लोकांना लक्षात येतं की चुकीच्या पद्धतीनं टार्गेट केलं जात आहे. तसंच आम्हाला महाविकास आघाडीने ठरवून या ठिकाणी टार्गेट केलं. पण मला असं वाटतं की हळूहळू लोकांनी लक्षात आलं, कारण आमचा ट्रॅक रेकॉर्ड चांगला आहे. आम्ही नेहमी पॉझिटिव्ह काम केलेलं आहे. त्यामुळे आमचा ट्रॅक रेकॉर्ड पाहून लोकांनी या ठिकाणी मतदान केलं आहे. मला असं वाटतं की या निकालाने एक गोष्ट स्पष्ट केली आहे, हिंद हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाळासाहेब ठाकरे यांची शिवसेना ही एकनाथराव शिंदेजींची शिवसेना आहे किंवा एकनाथराव शिंदेजी ज्या शिवसेनेचे प्रमुख आहेत तीच शिवसेना ही आता या ठिकाणी हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाळासाहेब ठाकरेंची आहे. त्याची लेजिटिमसी जी आहे ती आता एकनाथराव शिंदेजींकडे आलेली आहे आणि तशीच राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेसची लेजिटिमसी जनतेनं अजितदादा पवारांना दिलेली आहे.
बोलणं झालं आईसोबत आणि अमित शहा
आईचा तर फक्त आशीर्वाद घेतलाय, आईने आशीर्वाद दिलाय आणि अमितभाईंनी खूप आनंद व्यक्त केला आणि अमितभाईंनी या ठिकाणी आमचं अभिनंदन देखील केलं.
मराठा आरक्षण को लेकर बड़ा मुद्दा बना, इसके बावजूद आपकी पार्टी बड़ी जीत यहाँ पर हासिल करी. आपके ऊपर चूंकि एक तरह से आरोप हुआ, आपको अभद्र शब्दों में आपके खिलाफ जो है आलोचना करी गई, क्या ये उस वजह से मराठा आरक्षण का जो एक आंदोलन था वो फेल हुआ और जो मैंडेट था वो कहीं ना कहीं आप लोगों को?
देखिए, मैंने इससे पहले भी कहा था कि लोकसभा के चुनाव में हमको 43.6% मिले थे, उनको 43.9% मिले थे. तो अगर मराठा समाज ने हमको वोट नहीं दिया होता तो क्या हम 43.6% पर पहुंचते? मराठा समाज हमारे साथ था, है और रहेगा. ओबीसी समाज हमारे साथ था, है और रहेगा. सारे समाज. आज आप जब इसको डिसाइफर करेंगे, जब आप इसका विश्लेषण करेंगे तो आपके ध्यान में आएगा कि सब समाज हमारे साथ में. देखिए, हर समाज की अपनी इच्छाएं होती है, आकांक्षाएं होती है, लेकिन उनको ये भी पता होता है कि अपनी आकांक्षाएं पूर्ण करने के लिए प्रामाणिकता से काम कौन कर सकता है. तो लोगों का विश्वास हम पर.
2019ला मराठवाड्यातील वर्षावर एक प्रेस झाली होती, त्यानंतर शरद पवारांनी तेल लावलेला पैलवान हे वाक्य बोललं होतं आणि तुमचं आलेलं माइंडेड गव्हर्नमेंट पाडलं गेलं होतं कालांतराने. त्याचा बदला घेतलाय का आता? तेल लावलेला पैलवान
कुठलाही बदला मी घेतलेला नाही. राजकारणामध्ये जनता ठरवते कोण जिंकेल, कोण हरेल. कधी कधी एखाद्या गोष्टीचा नापसंती ही जनता कळवते. त्यामुळे यातनं जनतेने कदाचित नापसंती कळवली असेल आणि आमच्या बाबतीत पसंती कळवली असेल. मला असं वाटतं की याला वेगळ्या पद्धतीनं पाहण्याचं कारण नाही आणि नंबर्स काय आहे याच्या आधारावर मी विरोधी पक्षाचं मूल्यमापन करणार.
सर, एक सवाल आहे की चर्चा सुरू झालेली आहे. महाराष्ट्र चाणक्य म्हणून शरद पवारांचा उल्लेख वारंवार केला जायचा, आता महाराष्ट्र चाणक्य बदलला आहे.
बदलला असेल तर मला माहीत नाही. फक्त मी एवढंच सांगू शकतो की मी तरी चाणक्य वगैरे काही नाही. मी भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा साधा कार्यकर्ता आहे. माझा पक्ष मला ताकद देतो, माझ्या पाठीशी उभा राहतो, म्हणून मला हे सगळं करता येतं. आमच्या पक्षातले जे वेगवेगळे नेते आहेत हे सगळे नेते माझं नेतृत्व मान्य करतात, म्हणून मला पुढे जाता येतं. त्याच्यामुळे चाणक्य वगैरे नाही. म्हणून सांगितलं, हे जे काही आम्ही जिंकलो आहे ही एकत्रित भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा हा विजय आहे. याच्यात देवेंद्र फडणवीसचं कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन हे फार लहान आहे.
And I'm too small a person to make such announcements.
क्योंकि जनता आप लोगों के खिलाफ थी. और सर, और इसी से एक सवाल इसी पे कंटिन्यू कर लेता हूँ सर. क्या देवेंद्र फडणवीस के रूप में समंदर वापस आ गया है? जो लोग घर किनारे पे बसाए थे बह जाएंगे?
देखिए, पहली बात तो ये है कि संजय राउत, इनके ऊपर मैं कभी प्रतिक्रिया देता नहीं हूँ, लेकिन आज आवश्यकता इसलिए दे रहा हूँ. मुझे ये पता है कि झारखंड में झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा जीता है तो बहुत लेजिटिमेट जीता है. वहाँ चुनाव एकदम फेयर हुआ है. वहाँ पर इलेक्शन कमीशन ने अच्छा काम किया है. वहाँ पर ईवीएम इतना पक्का था कि वो हैक ही नहीं हो सकता. वहाँ लोकतंत्र का विजय हुआ है. और महाराष्ट्र में अगर हमको लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री मिली है तो इलेक्शन कमीशन भी बायस हो गया है, यहाँ का ईवीएम हैक हो गया है, यहाँ पर लोकतंत्र की हत्या हो गई है. ये कभी ना कभी आत्मचिंतन करने की आवश्यकता होती है. जो आत्मचिंतन नहीं करते जिंदगी में वो समाप्त हो जाते हैं. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कभी ना कभी आत्मचिंतन करना चाहिए और इस प्रकार से वो बात करेंगे तो क्या लोगों का विश्वास बैठेगा? चलो, थैंक यू.
So Devendra Fadnavis has made an important point. Of course, people have more questions, so they want him back. They want him to speak. Piyush Goyal has also joined him, and these are some of the architects of BJP and Mahayuti's victory in Maharashtra. Union Minister Piyush Goyal and Bhupendra Yadav seen in these images. But an important point that Devendra Fadnavis has just made, he said that the people of Maharashtra have decided who has inherited the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray.
जनता तुम्हाला कमी अधिक करते त्याच्यामुळे मी आहे आणि ते आहे. थँक्यू सर. समंदरवाला जवाब दिया सर आपने.
And the real inheritors of Hindu Hriday Samrat Balasaheb Thackeray is Eknath Shinde, and that's the real Shiv Sena. According to Devendra Fadnavis, he says it's the people of Maharashtra who've answered this question. He also made another point. He said, I am the Abhimanyu of this new Mahabharat. But he says, I know how to enter the Chakravyuh and also emerge victorious.
मैं एक गोष्ट मला या निमित्ताने सांगायची आहे जी निश्चितपणे सांगितली पाहिजे की आमचे अध्यक्ष चंद्रशेखर बावनकुळे यांच्या नेतृत्वात गेल्या 2 वर्षात पार्टीने खालपर्यंत जे कार्यक्रम राबवले त्यामुळे पूर्ण पार्टी जिवंत झाली आणि पार्टीच्या कार्यकर्त्यांनी ही निवडणूक अंगावर घेतली आणि म्हणून मी बावनकुळेजी आणि आमच्या पार्टीच्या कार्यकर्त्यांचे मनापासून आभार मानतो. मैं हमारे अध्यक्ष चंद्रशेखर बावनकुळे जी और पार्टी के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं का आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं. इन कार्यकर्ताओं ने हमारे बावनकुळे जी के नेतृत्व में पिछले 2 साल लगातार नीचे तक जाकर पार्टी को प्रस्तापित किया. पार्टी के कार्यक्रम उन्होंने वहां पर संपन्न किए और उसके कारण पार्टी में एक नई जान आई.
Leaders and party workers, but very clearly answering that question that the real Shiv Sena in Maharashtra is led by Eknath Shinde, who's the inheritor of the legacy of Hindu Hriday Samrat Balasaheb Thackeray. Also on the questions that are being raised about whether the EVMs worked fine in Maharashtra because of this spectacular victory and leads that the Mahayuti had. Right now it's leading in 229 seats. The Mahavikas Aghadi reduced to just 51 seats. He says, how is it possible? And he wants leaders like Sanjay Raut of Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray to respond. How is this possible that the same EVM is working spectacularly well in Jharkhand, where JMM has this wonderful victory? So there the EVM is working fine. There democracy is not in danger. There the election commission is working fine. But in Maharashtra, if the Mahayuti gets 229 seats, then democracy is in danger. Election commission is not working and the EVMs are not working fine. He says those who raise the EVM bogey need to introspect or it's the end of the road for him. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's finest team of reporters who've been tracking every development on this major story here on India Today. Mosmi Singh joins us from Varsha. She joins us from Devendra Fadnavis's residence. Vidya joins us from Matoshri at Uddhav Thackeray's residence. But Mosmi, to you first, did even the BJP or the Mahayuti expect such a spectacular win? And in this celebration, while they celebrate, is there clarity on what next? Who would be chief minister? Would it be the person who lives in Varsha, Devendra Fadnavis?
Right, Gaurav, a spectacular victory scored by the Mahayuti, and that's one reason that you see that the Varsha,
okay,
the
just
floor...
Just give me a moment. I quickly want to cut across once again to Varsha and quickly listen to Mrs. Fadnavis.
पार्टी डिसाइड करेगी डेफिनेटली, सब महायुति डिसाइड करेगी. मैं इतना ही चाहती हूँ कि जो महाराष्ट्र के लिए सबसे अच्छा है, जैसे आज हुआ है इन टर्म्स ऑफ वोटिंग एंड वोटिंग परसेंटेज, वैसे ही आगे जाके जो भी लीडर हमारे सब मिलके चुनते हैं वो महाराष्ट्र के लिए सबसे अच्छा हो.
पिछले 1 महीना इलेक्शन कैंपेन काफी टफ था, कैसे मूव कर रहे थे?
बहुत टफ था, 24 घंटे कम पड़ रहे थे और मैं भी नागपुर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में कांस्टेंट थी, सब कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ थी, तो बहुत खुशी है कि हर जगह बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट हैं. थैंक
यू. So Amrita Fadnavis has been on Devendra Fadnavis' side almost constantly throughout this victory, and she's saying that I was campaigning almost constantly, and it's only now it's beginning to sink in. So as we get to these images of celebrations, Mosmi, sorry I had to cut you short. Take it away, Mosmi. Mosmi, if you can hear me, you were telling me the road ahead for the Mahayuti. Did even they expect that their victory would be so spectacular, Mosmi?
Right, Gaurav, I was just telling you that, the celebrations have simply not stopped ever since the verdict was absolutely clear, and at Varsha, even the floors are covered with gulal. You can see that all these Shiv Sena workers, they are waiting. There's a press conference that's supposed to happen, but the nagadas have not stopped rolling. You can see the Nandi right there, which is decorated with full fanfare as a part of the celebrations. And, it's holy festival time for the Shiv Sena workers. Ajit Pawar has already come in. Eknath Shinde is inside. And when Devendra Fadnavis arrives, there will be a joint press conference. So, it's like a united colors of BJP, NCP and Shiv Sena that we see in this performance. And you can see that all the young Shiv Sena workers are quite excited and enthusiastic. But they say that we always believed that we were going to make it big this time because we started off 2.5 years back. Just take a sense from one of these local youth leaders. आपको पहले से विश्वास था कि जीतने वाले हैं, पूरा गुलाल से रंगे हैं और कब तक होली बनेगी?
Okay, give me a moment as we look at these images. Ajit Dada Pawar, it's a big victory for him in the family bastion. Let me get you details from Baramati as the information just comes in. Ajit Pawar has defeated his nephew by 1,16,000 votes. It's a decisive victory for Ajit Pawar in Baramati. The final results have just been announced. Ajit Pawar 1,96,640 votes. Yugendra Pawar has got 80,458 votes. So it's a very, very decisive victory for Ajit Pawar in Baramati. 1,16,182 votes. Again, there's another issue. Has that also been decided by the voters of Maharashtra, the real NCP? Sharad Pawar, 84, campaigned very hard. Sharad Pawar did also indicate that this was his last effort where he was reaching out to the people who had kept him as the great strongman in Maharashtra. But Ajit Pawar has defeated his nephew by a margin of 1,16,000 votes. Very, very decisive victory for Ajit Pawar in Baramati once these final results have been announced. I quickly want to bring in Vidya for more on this. Vidya, two issues very clearly decided. One, the real Shiv Sena, according to Devendra Fadnavis, is Eknath Shinde. Has the Baramati victory for Ajit Pawar also decided the real NCP?
Well, that's precisely what Fadnavis was saying in the press conference that he just mentioned, that it is this particular decision that has the mandate that has been given is for the mandate of the legacy, and the legacy of the real Shiv Sena is with Eknath Shinde, who revered Bal Thackeray and who's considered one of his strongest followers. And on the other side, it is with the Ajit Pawar faction, who is now with, not only does it have the symbol, but it has the legacy of Pawar also, while Pawar still is alive, and he is also trying to manage make sure that the Sharad Pawar faction is, able to make its mark. But in spite of all his efforts, when Ajit Pawar faction has gathered the numbers, then clearly the legacy is on the side of Ajit Pawar, is what Fadnavis was speaking about.
Vidya and Mosmi, stay with me. Let me also quickly introduce guests on our panel. I have Professor Badri Narayan joining us on the broadcast. He's been tracking these elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, columnist and political analyst. Adil Singh Boparai, national spokesperson of the Congress Party. Hitesh Jain represents the Bharatiya Janata Party on this broadcast. Before I come to our guests, I quickly want to take our viewers through the latest developments that are just coming in from Maharashtra. The Mahayuti, it's recorded a landslide win in Maharashtra. A victory in which no alliance has crossed the 200 mark yet. The Mahayuti has done it the first time. Now, Devendra Fadnavis reiterated that it was the Ek Hai to Safe Hai war cry that helped the Mahayuti get their voters together. He said voters rejected Rahul Gandhi's fake narrative. He thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He thanked Home Minister Amit Shah for leading the alliance to a landslide victory. And you're looking at these celebrations at Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis, Ajit Pawar, all of them and the supporters in large numbers celebrating the Grand Alliance Maha victory. The Mahayuti is leading or has won in 229 seats. The Maha Vikas Aghadi is leading or has won only 52 seats so far. The BJP on its own is leading in more than 130 seats, 133 at this point of time. And Adil Singh Boparai, if I may, what went so drastically wrong for the Congress and the Maha Vikas Aghadi, Adil?
Honestly, it's been a mixed bag for the Congress party. We won Jharkhand with our alliance partner JMM. There's been a stupendous performance of the alliance, and we're extremely grateful to the voters. When it comes to Maharashtra, we respect the mandate. Clearly something went wrong. We have to go to the drawing board and assess the reasons as to what went wrong. But having said this, and I'm not taking away the joy of the BJP when as far as the results are concerned, but it is a bitter reality that there was extensive use of muscle and money power in Maharashtra. We saw divisive slogans like "Batenge to Katenge." Now, how is this slogan progressive? How is this slogan going to create jobs or reduce inflation? So it does appear that polarization has reaped dividends for the party. The BJP had extensive access to resources. We've said that the Adani project in Dharavi will virtually make Mr. Adani one of the biggest land players in Maharashtra. So obviously, he threw his weight behind the BJP. These are other issues which we'll have to deal with in due course. The BJP's use of muscle and money power. Similarly, there have been allegations and there's been empirical proof about manipulation of the voter list. All these aspects will be looked into. But I'm not taking away the fact that, yes, this has been a disappointment for us. We must look at these results more closely and do course correction. But I disagree with the BJP when they say that they ran a progressive agenda.
Hitesh Jain, you want to quickly respond? Did even the BJP or the Mahayuti expect this spectacular victory? 160, 170 is what some analysts were arguing on a higher side, but this is 230 right now.
Gaurav, BJP was very confident, and if I just want to recollect what Prime Minister Modi said in his rally at Shivaji Park, कि मैं यहाँ आपसे बात करने नहीं आया हूँ. I've come here to extend invitation to join in the swearing-in ceremony of the Mahayuti government. Now, this he predicted almost 5 days before. This was the last rally he addressed in Maharashtra. We were very confident. And if you will speak to every person on the ground in Maharashtra and the manner in which you can see the voter turnout, it clearly reflects the confidence and the result which was being seen by every normal citizen, but not by certain poll pundits or the Maha Vikas Aghadi. And I'll give you the reasons. One, the comparison between the 2.5 years of MVA and the work done by Mahayuti in the last 2.5 years. The citizens of Maharashtra and the voters saw the kind of work. When you look at Atal Setu, when you look at Coastal Road, when you look at Samruddhi Mahamarg, when you look at Badhavar, as against that, what you were seeing, bickering in Maha Aghadi, they don't need to blame. I mean, till the 11th hour, their fight was about Kaun Banega Mukhya Mantri. It was not about the development or vision of Maharashtra.
So let me take it to Professor Badri Narayan to weigh in. Sir, you heard both the Congress and the BJP. Your take on what was responsible for this spectacular victory? Slogans like Batenge to Katenge, Ek hai to safe hai, or the slogans and the Atal Setu, the Sea Link and the development projects that the BJP spoke of?
I think, Gaurav, see, in this election in Maharashtra and also in Jharkhand, one message emerged that beneficiaries community has emerged by the various governmental policy, and they are working beyond the caste and community. And the government who plan this kind of policies and implement it successfully, they get benefit of that. So in Maharashtra also, this in 3 months, the kind of popular policy which Mahayuti government brought, they brought, Ladli Yojana, and so many years the governmental policy, they worked well. So first thing is this. Second thing is the Mahavikas Aghadi had no new narrative. They are working on the old narrative, danger of constitution or reservation, caste, Maratha, OBC, like that. So conventional politics, diction of conventional politics, and the old kind of already fired issues, they were in their hands.
Adil Singh, you want to quickly respond to this point? Sir, interesting you should raise that. There were two aspects, through the morning, the instant analysis that's coming in. Nothing new in the Congress narrative or the Mahavikas Aghadi narrative, waiving the constitution or targeting Adani, or not being able to put together a coherent strategy, just being critical, but no strategy of their own. Is that what let the Congress down?
I'm glad you put this question to me, Gaurav, and I'm grateful. Firstly, I disagree with the previous speaker. It was the Congress party which promised an unemployment stipend, something which no other party has done. Number two, we came out with the proposal of a loan waiver. We all know the plight of the farmers in the Vidarbha region. Number three, we proposed the Mahalakshmi scheme. Number four, healthcare for all, amounting to 25 lakh rupees. So, it is unfair when you say that the Congress party didn't go to the voters with a progressive vision. Yes, we've lost the election.
Sure.
That of course, that's what the numbers indicate. But to say that we didn't go with a positive narrative is furthest from the truth. Number two,
Fair enough, sir. I have breaking news coming. Can I quickly take that for 30 seconds and I'll come back to you to complete your sentence. There's a Mahayuti huddle that's currently on after this victory, and this huddle has Devendra Fadnavis, Piyush Goyal, Bhupendra Yadav, Pankaja Munde. They've reached the Chief Minister's residence. They've reached Varsha right now, and they are the ones who are actually going to put their heads together, the three parties right now, and come up with their candidate who would be the chief minister before that's then taken up with the party leadership. That's the latest information that we are getting right now. I have India Today's Mosmi Singh joining us for more on this. Mosmi. Okay, Ritik Bhalekar now joins us for more on this. Ritik, is there clarity on the candidates, the likely faces right now?
Range.
Ritik, can you hear me? Okay, give me a moment as we try and reestablish that link. And as we reestablish that link, Adil, apologies, I interrupted you. Please complete your point, sir.
Point is, which is a very nuanced point. The opposition today in this country is denied a level playing field. Please understand when I say denied a level playing field. All along for decades, the election of the Maharashtra election is with Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir. This time, the Election Commission of India, for reasons beyond my understanding, delayed it, number one. Number two, this helped the Maharashtra government to pan out their flagship scheme. Number three, there have been instances where a BJP General Secretary, Vinod Tavre, was caught on camera distributing cash. What action has been taken? Number four, there have been instances of manipulation of the voter list, where members of certain disadvantaged communities, their names have been removed from the list. The entire ECI, the state apparatus, the BJP and Mr. Adani's money and muscle power versus the opposition and their progressive vision. We accept the results. Please don't take it otherwise. We accept the result and we have to undertake course correction. But having said this, I stand by my statement that the opposition in this country is denied a level playing field because of the BJP and Mr. Adani's muscle and money power.
Okay,
and Dharavi, let me say this again, and I'm underlining this.
Sir, give me 30 seconds. I have Ritik Bhalekar before I lose the connection to our reporter in Mumbai. Ritik, give us details of the huddle that's currently underway.
So I'm right now at CM's official residence, Varsha Bungalow, and here you can see all the leaders, all the top leaders of Mahayuti, NDA-led Mahayuti alliance have reached here to meet Eknath Shinde, and they'll be soon addressing a press conference in a while. We could see Devendra Fadnavis, Pankaja Munde, Piyush Goyal, Bhupendra Yadav, Ajit Pawar, Praful Patel and Sunil Tatkare has just reached here before some time, and they will be together addressing a press conference. But before that, they are having a meeting together to decide on to how to go ahead after having this clear mandate. And obviously BJP has gotten the highest number of seats, but despite that we can see that NDA is all intact and very strong and very firm together, and they want to show that they are together, and they are going to address a press conference in a while.
Okay, so that press conference in just a while. Is there likely to be any surprise, or are we to understand that it would either be Eknath Shinde or who could it be in the BJP? Are there multiple names doing the rounds, not Devendra Fadnavis, somebody else, or Devendra Fadnavis? Any clarity? What are BJP leaders telling you?
Lot of speculations, but obviously because the BJP has a comfortable number with itself, more than 130, more than what they had achieved in 2014, that was 123. So BJP leaders, and especially the loyalists and the leaders who are very close to Devendra Fadnavis, are saying that the next chief minister of the state will obviously be Devendra Fadnavis. But at the same time, we could see that even leaders from Eknath Shinde's faction of Shiv Sena are also claiming that CM post will be retained by Eknath Shinde. So we really need to know now what is happening behind the curtains, and after a meeting is held, obviously the consensus will be done, and party high command of BJP will also intervene, and the decision will be announced as soon as possible.
Okay. Okay, there's breaking news that's coming in. Of course, Congress has reason to celebrate, and that reason comes from Kerala, where Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has won a spectacular victory in Wayanad. It's a landslide win for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. She is on her way to meet the Congress Party President Mallikarjun Kharge, and that meeting will take place in just about 30 minutes from now, is what we are being told. And Priyanka Gandhi Vadra took to social media platform X to say, "My dearest sisters and brothers of Wayanad, I am overwhelmed with gratitude for the trust you've placed in me. I will make sure over time you truly feel this victory has been your victory, and the person you chose to represent understands your hopes and dreams and fights for you as one of your own. I look forward to being your voice in Parliament. Thank you for giving me this honor, and even more for this immense love you have given me." My colleagues in the UDF, leaders from across Kerala, workers, volunteers, and my office colleagues who've worked incredibly hard for this campaign, thank you for your support in tolerating my 12-hour-a-day, no food, no rest, car journeys, and for fighting like true soldiers for the ideals we all believe in. To my mother, Robert, and my two jewels, Rehan and Miraya, no gratitude is there ever enough for the love and courage that you've given me. And to my brother Rahul, you are the bravest of them all. Thank you for showing me the way and having my back always. That's a very, very sweet message that comes out from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. And Adil, it's quite a spectacular victory for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Not that it was unexpected, but the margin is truly spectacular. Adil Singh Boparai.
Well, most certainly, Gaurav. I think Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi's entry into the parliament is a watershed moment. He has resonance across the country, across the length and breadth of the country, and she's directly connected with the voters. She understands their problems, and she's willing to pick up cudgels against a majority government to ensure that their grievances are alleviated. Therefore, I think this is indeed a tectonic moment, and she will contribute very, very effectively the elevation of the parliamentary discourse and to the polity as a whole.
Hitesh Jain, that's something that the BJP will have to be aware, because Priyanka Gandhi Vadra in Parliament, she speaks well, she's won the spectacular victory, she'd worked very hard in the Uttar Pradesh campaign for the Congress party. It'll be a huge challenge, especially when there are so many issues coming up in the upcoming session of Parliament. Hitesh Jain.
Gaurav, in the victory of Priyanka Gandhi lies the defeat of Congress. The message in this election was, what was the Congress party doing? The whole Congress party leadership was in Wayanad. Nobody was in Maharashtra. So it is not for us, but it is like you are going to see a sibling war in the parliament between the camps of Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi. Congress is enamored by the Gandhi siblings. They feel the Gandhi siblings can come, they can wave some book, whether it is a constitution or otherwise. They still feel India is of 1947, 1950. India is moved ahead. India doesn't get bothered by this dynasty who are good for nothing. They just come, they love to build fake narrative. They should come and speak on the real battles, speak on the real issues that are concerning India. And what is the appetite Congress has shown? I mean, I could have understood their strategy if they could have fielded Priyanka Gandhi in Nanded. There were 2 Lok Sabha elections. Wayanad, as it is, it was Rahul Gandhi's seat, and then tried to win both the Lok Sabha. But what is the message? They choose the safest seat in Wayanad. The whole leadership is deputed to Wayanad over there. You have lost an important state like Maharashtra. So in Lok Sabha...
Adil wants to respond to that, but Eknath Shinde's reaction...
Gaurav, 30 seconds, I will complete the point. In Lok Sabha, what will be discussed and debated is the frivolous issues that will be raised by the Gandhi family and them getting defeated on the ground by the citizens.
Frivolous or not is for voters and the viewers to decide. But for the moment, reactions that are coming in from Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde and other leaders reacting to BJP and the Mahayuti's spectacular victory. Listen in.
ये भी मैं कहूँगा 2.5 साल में केंद्र और राज्य सरकार ये डबल इंजन वाली सरकार चली है। आदरणीय मोदी जी ने भी काफी सपोर्ट किया है। कितनी बार उन्होंने ये महाराष्ट्र का दौरा किया है। अमित भाई जी ने भी बहुत इसमें ध्यान दिया है। हमारे सभी नड्डा जी हो, कई लोग हो, ये सभी केंद्रीय जो नेतागण हैं उन्होंने भी महाराष्ट्र को बहुत प्राथमिकता दी है। महाराष्ट्र एक बड़ा राज्य है और ये राज्य जो है ये देश में नंबर 1 का राज्य है।
I would thank all the voters, Janta of Maharashtra, who stood behind Mahayuti and gave this landslide victory.
Interestingly, it is Aditya Thackeray who is failing from his...
People are showing his the way he has worked for 5 years. जिस तरीके से unavailable रहे, from the starting we were saying, unavailable and not accessible MLA. I think he is on the verge of
So while Eknath Shinde is also talking about the spectacular victory in every part, I also want to cut across to the massive victory that the BJP and the Mahayutis had in the Maratha stronghold, in the Maratha turf. The BJP has won 2 seats in the Maratha quota epicenter. Massive celebrations in Jalna after BJP's spectacular victory. And quota activist Dharanj Patel, now he has actually failed to sway the voters. But for a moment, take a look at these images, full frame as we put them out to you, because this was a belt that was seen as perhaps, whether you talk about the Vidarbha belt or the Marathwada belt, that these could be huge challenges for the BJP. But were they truly a challenge? Take a look at these images, I'll get you more on that story.
जीत हासिल की है वायनाड से और यहाँ पर तमाम समर्थक प्रियंका गांधी का गर्मजोशी से स्वागत कर रहे हैं। प्रियंका गांधी
मैं तो मुझे इस बात से खुशी है कि मैं मतलब जनता की इच्छा है और मुझे मौका मिला है अब जनता की सेवा करने का।
आपने बड़ा इमोशनल मैसेज लिखा है अभी ट्विटर पे।
जी, क्योंकि बहुत प्यार मिला मुझे वायनाड में
और परिवार वालों का साथ भी तो मिला।
जी, वो तो हमेशा मिलता है।
तो किसको सबसे ज्यादा आप क्रेडिट देंगे इस जीत का?
राहुल जी को 5 साल उन्होंने जितना काम किया है वायनाड में, वो इसी का श्रेय है, उन्हीं को श्रेय है इस जीत का।
पहली आपकी प्राथमिकता क्या होगी?
अब इतना लंबा, हाँ
एक बार हमें मिलने का टाइम दे दो।
दे देती हूँ, आप बात कर लो और फिर।
तो प्रियंका गांधी यहाँ से निकली हैं जीत के बाद। पहली प्रतिक्रिया आज तक पर उन्होंने दी है और कहा है कि जीत का सबसे ज़्यादा श्रेय जो है वो राहुल गांधी के लिए को जाता है, क्योंकि 5 साल तक उन्होंने वायनाड के लिए जो काम किया उसकी वजह से ये जीत और बड़ी जीत प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा को हासिल हुई है।
So Priyanka Gandhi Vadra spoke exclusively to India today after her spectacular victory in Wayanad. Happy to have been chosen to represent the people of Wayanad. Adil Singh Boparai, you wanted to respond to Hitesh Jain on the issue of Priyanka Gandhi's victory. Respond, sir.
प्रियंका गांधी, प्रियंका गांधी, प्रियंका गांधी। मैं तो मुझे इस बात से खुशी है कि मैं मतलब जनता की इच्छा है और मुझे मौका मिला है अब जनता की सेवा करने का।
आपने बड़ा इमोशनल मैसेज लिखा है अभी ट्विटर पे।
जी, क्योंकि बहुत प्यार मिला मुझे वायनाड में
और परिवार वालों का साथ भी तो मिला।
जी, वो तो हमेशा मिलता है।
तो किसको सबसे ज्यादा आप क्रेडिट देंगे इस जीत का?
राहुल जी को 5 साल उन्होंने जितना काम किया है वायनाड में, वो इसी का श्रेय है, उन्हीं को श्रेय है इस जीत का।
पहली आपकी प्राथमिकता क्या होगी?
अब इतना लंबा, हाँ
एक बार हमें मिलने का टाइम दे दो।
दे देती हूँ, आप बात कर लो और फिर।
तो प्रियंका गांधी यहाँ से निकली हैं जीत के बाद। पहली प्रतिक्रिया आज तक पर उन्होंने दी है और कहा है कि जीत का सबसे ज्यादा श्रेय जो है वो राहुल गांधी के लिए को जाता है।
So Priyanka Gandhi Vadra giving the credit of her spectacular win with a huge margin to her brother Rahul Gandhi. Also thanked the voters of Wayanad for continuing to place their trust first in Rahul Gandhi and then in Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Adil Singh Boparai respond to the BJP saying that perhaps there'll be sibling rivalry and 2 camps within the Congress in Lok Sabha.
It is utter nonsense. What the BJP spokesperson has said is utter nonsense. The hallmarks of the Congress party leadership are decency, sincerity, and honesty. These adjectives are alien to the BJP and their cadre. But having said this, as far as issues in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha are concerned, yes, we intend to take up the Adani issue. We do understand that the BJP has become spokespersons for the Adani, but it is unprecedented that the US Justice Department has indicted an individual who had participated and played an active role in the dislodging of the Maharashtra government in 2019. And the Dharavi project, let me again underline.
Okay, you're coming to Dharavi project, those first images coming, and I want to go to those images full screen right now. These are images that are coming in off the huddle of the Mahayuti that is taking place. Devendra Fadnavis, Mr. Athavale sitting next to him, leaders, okay, that's also Eknath Shinde next to him. Leaders coming in for that meeting. Ajit Pawar also. Spectacular victory as far as the Mahayuti is concerned. And look at the strike rate for all the 3 alliance partners there. Sitting together. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde in the center. Ajit Pawar, Devendra Fadnavis, Praful Patel. Flanking Eknath Shinde. 227 is what the Mahayuti is leading in. Mahavikas Aghadi reduced to 54. And if you were to look at the numbers of the parties in terms of their strike rate, what is it that they've been able to achieve in these elections? Praful Patel very clearly said that this is a great moment not just for the NCP but also for the Mahayuti. They've thanked women voters, all 3. The message that they were able to put out through the Ladki Behan Yojana was women voters. They came out in larger numbers to vote. 95% is their appreciation, their efforts working in sync. They have, of course, said that the fake narrative, and these are Praful Patel's words, that fake narrative that the Congress party was trying to put out of constitution will be amended or reservations will be abolished, that's been demolished by the voters of Maharashtra. They're also saying that the 54 seats, the victory or the leads of the Congress or the NCP, Sharad Pawar, or the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, it's rather slender, the margin of lead. But very interesting, if I could bring in Professor Badri Narayan on this. Praful Patel said, I wish we could all have been together. That is there a hope that the NCP could be united or reunited? Is that even possible? Or has that ship sailed, in your view, sir?
I think, Gaurav, Mahayuti is a united at the moment. And I think it will be united because it's the demand of the politics of Maharashtra. If they will be not united, I think it will give bad message, negative message. But it may possible that CM face maybe in this time, maybe Devendra Fadnavis may be one of the main contender of this CM face also, because already this election is being organized is very clearly.
Okay, I think Eknath Shinde is speaking. Let's quickly cut across and listen in.
निरंतर गोरे सर्व महायुतीचे सन्माननीय उपस्थित असणारे मान्यवर नेते, पदाधिकारी, कार्यकर्ते आणि पत्रकार मित्रांनो, आपण आज सकाळी काउंटिंग सुरू होईपर्यंत प्रत्येक जण आपापले परीनं अंदाज व्यक्त करत होते. काल तर मी स्वतः वेगवेगळ्या चॅनलला बघत होतो, म्हणजे आम्ही तिघं कशातच नसल्यातच जमा होतो. बाकीच्यांच्या गाड्या फिरवणं, ड्रायव्हिंग करणं, इकडे जाणं तिकडे जाणं, इतकं काही सुरू होतं की आम्ही पहिल्यांदा 1:45च्या पुढे जाऊ आम्हाला वाटत होतं. कालचं सगळं बघितल्यानंतर आम्हाला वाटायला लागलं की आपण कुठेतरी खाली जातोय का काय. परंतु महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेने विकासाकडे बघून महायुतीला प्रचंड अशा प्रकारचं जे यश प्राप्त करून दिलंय, त्याबद्दल महाराष्ट्रातल्या तमाम जनतेचं महायुतीच्या वतीनं, व्यक्तिशः माझ्या वतीनं मी त्यांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो, मनापासून आभार मानतो. सगळेच कार्यकर्ते राबले, उमेदवार राबले, सगळे सहकारी घटक पक्षाचे, मित्र पक्षांचे सगळे आमचे सहकारी त्याच्यामध्ये स्वतःला झोकून दिलं आणि सगळ्यांनी ही निवडणूक आपली स्वतःची निवडणूक आहे असं समजून त्या ठिकाणी कामाला लागले. आमच्या ज्या योजना होत्या, योजनांच्याबद्दल बरेच थोडीशी चेष्टा मस्करी करण्यात आली, आम्हाला त्याच्यामध्ये दोष देण्यात आला, आमची थोडंसं टीका टिप्पणी करण्यात आली की राज्य कंगाल केलं, अमुक झालं तमुक झालं. परंतु नंतर त्यांचे जाहीरनामे बाहेर आल्यानंतर आम्हाला ते दिसलं की हे काय चाललेलं आहे, कसं चाललेलं आहे, कुठलाही हिशोब न ठेवता अशा प्रकारचे जाहीरनामे बाहेर आले आणि आपण सगळ्यांनी त्या ठिकाणी पाहिलं. आम्ही मुळात काय केलं, लोकसभेच्या निवडणुकीच्या निमित्तानं आम्हाला मोठं अपयश आलं. म्हणजे महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आम्हाला तिघांनाही वाटलं नव्हतं की बाबा अशा प्रकारचं आपल्याला अपयश मिळेल, परंतु ते मिळालं. आम्ही ते मान्य केलं, त्याच्यातून आम्ही पुन्हा सावरण्याचा प्रयत्न केला. अर्थसंकल्प सादर करत असताना आम्ही सरकारमध्ये तिघांनी मिळून काही योजना जाहीर केल्या. त्या योजना इतक्या पॉप्युलर झाल्या, त्याच्यामध्ये लाडकी बहिणा म्हणजे गेम चेंजरच ती योजना झाली. अंडर करंट असा का बहिणींनी दाखवला की मी सगळे उताने पडले, सगळे आडवे झाले. एक माझं स्वतःचं स्पष्ट मत आहे, प्रत्येकाची वेगवेगळी मतं असू शकतात.
लाडकी बहन योजना was actually a game changer and it helped us a lot. And let me tell you, all the Ladki Behan Yojana scheme, the beneficiaries, this was a very important scheme which was put out by the government.
किंवा कुठल्याही आघाडीला महाराष्ट्रामध्ये तरी कधी असं यश मिळालेलं माझ्या तरी पाण्यात नाही, माझ्या तरी ऐकवत नाही.
Let me tell you clearly that never in Maharashtra such victory has happened in the past. This is a landslide victory of Mahayuti in Maharashtra.
अलीकडच्या काळामध्ये जसं आम्हाला समजतंय तसं तर एवढं प्रचंड यश हे पहिल्यांदाच मिळालेलं यशाने आम्ही हुरळून पण जाणार नाही आणि आम्ही अतिशय जमिनीवर पाय ठेवून
First time ever such mandate has been received in Maharashtra. This mandate is given to Mahayuti and we thank all the voters of Maharashtra.
पण फोन केला तेव्हा म्हटलं देवेंद्रजी खूप काही काम करावं लागेल. एकनाथरावजींना पण तसं सांगितलं की फार आर्थिक शिस्त आपल्याला त्याच्यामध्ये आणावी लागेल आणि आम्ही आणू. त्याच्यात आम्हाला हे नवीन नाहीये, आम्ही सगळे अनुभवी माणसं.
The mandate which is given by the people of Maharashtra will definitely prove our work. And let me tell you, I have also spoken to Maharashtra CM Eknath Shinde about this. Financially as well, we have to work very hard to fulfill all the promises.
त्याच्यामुळं या सगळ्या ज्या काही गोष्टी झालेल्या आहेत, आता विरोधक टीका करतात की बाबा बॅलेट पेपरनी घ्यायला पाहिजे होतं, मग बॅलेट पेपरने लोकसभेला पण घ्यायला पाहिजे होतं. लोकसभेचा निकाल लागला की तो बरोबर, आणि इथला निकाल लागला की बॅलेट पेपर यायला पाहिजे. मग
This is very strange what the opposition always says. Now, when they got the mandate in Lok Sabha, they accepted the mandate in Lok Sabha. Now, here in Mahayuti, in this particular assembly election, they are not accepting the mandate. They are saying that ballot paper should have been used. But why ballot paper? They should accept what the people of Maharashtra have given the mandate. We accepted the Lok Sabha results. Now, you should accept the assembly results.
तुम्ही बघितलं तर सगळीकडे महायुती जोरात चालली. असं कुठं नाही की मागच्या वेळेस कसं झालं, आम्हाला झटका दिला तो मराठवाड्याने दिला. आमची एकच जागा त्यावेळेस भुमरे साहेबांची आली संभाजीनगर सिटीतली, बाकीकडे सगळीकडे आम्हाला दारुण पराभवाला सामोरं जावं लागलं. आणि तसं ह्या वेळेस झालं नाही. तुम्ही जर अंदाज घेतला
And this is a very clear mandate. It is unlike that we will get a mandate in particular region like Marathwada or Vidar, but we have got support and particular mandate in this assembly election from all over Maharashtra.
प्रिंट पण मीडिया आहे. मला एक कळत नाही, तुम्ही खऱ्या बातम्या देत चाला ना, जे खऱ्या देत नाही त्यांना मला म्हणायचं तुम्ही बाकी सगळे खऱ्या बातम्या देतात, त्याच्याबद्दल दुमत नाही. पण मी टीव्ही चालू केलं आणि अजित पवार पोस्टल बॅलेटमध्येच माग मी विचारतोय तिथं फोन करून, ते म्हणले नाही दादा आपण पुढे आहे. आता माझं लीड 1,02,000 मताधिक्य मी मिळवलंय आणि खुशाल तुम्ही दाखवताय अजित पवार माग, अजित पवार माग.
It is also very strange how the news actually spread. Initially, they were showing that I am behind in the postal ballot, but it was not true. I was leading in this entire result of with over 1 lakh margin.
किती झाले? पोस्टल बॅलेट मध्ये पण आम्ही पुढे होतो आणि रेग्युलर मतदानामध्ये पण पुढे होतो. सांगायचं तात्पर्य की बाबा तुमच्यावर सगळ्या चॅनलवर जनतेचा एवढा विश्वास आहे, म्हणजे विश्वास नाही ते सकाळच्या 9 वाजताच्या भोंग्यावर विश्वास नाही, पण बाकीच्यांवर फार विश्वास आहे. माझं एवढंच म्हणणं आहे की खऱ्या बातम्या दिल्या तर काही वाईट होणार नाही.
Ajit Pawar take
खूप चांगलं यश मिळालं. अजून पण काही
clearly says that people have mandate given to us. They don't believe in the loudspeaker which actually goes at every morning at 9, but they believe in us.
वाढलेली आहे आणि त्या उलट आम्हाला अधिक जास्त बारकाईनं इथून पुढे काम करावं लागणार आहे, कारण एवढं दैदिप्यमान यश ह्या सगळ्यांनी मिळून दिलेलं आहे आणि जनतेचे मानावे तेवढे आभार कमीच आहेत. म्हणजे काय आता त्यांच्याकरता म्हणजे त्यांच्या ऋणातच आम्ही राहू इच्छितो. आणि 5
One
वर्ष
thing is very clear that this is a very big mandate and a very big responsibility which has been given by the people of Maharashtra, and we have to deliver all the promises and all the faith which is shown by the people of Maharashtra to us.
राज्याच्या सर्वांगीण विकासाच्या करता जसं आम्ही विकास हा केंद्रबिंदू मानून पुढे गेलो, तशाच पद्धतीचं काम हे इथून पुढच्या काळामध्ये देखील महायुतीच्या वतीनं त्या ठिकाणी चालेल अशा प्रकारची खात्री मी आपल्या पत्रकार मित्रांना पण देतो आणि आपल्या मार्फत महाराष्ट्रातल्या तमाम जनतेला देतो. पुन्हा एकदा मतदार
To you media people, I actually want to tell you that all the promises will be fulfilled. The faith which has been shown by the people of Maharashtra, that will be fulfilled. And once again, I want to thank all the voters of Maharashtra.
मराठी मातृभाषा अभिजात भाषेचा दर्जा आत्ताच दिलाय ना, लगेच विसरायला लागला. नाही नाही ते दिल्लीत बोलतात.
मी माझी भावना मगाशीच मांडली आहे की केवळ आत्ता एवढंच सांगेन की महाराष्ट्राच्या जनतेसमोर आम्ही नतमस्तक आहोत. जनतेने ज्या प्रकारचा विजय दिलेला आहे, खऱ्या अर्थानं हा विजय एक प्रकारे आमची जबाबदारी वाढवणारा विजय आहे. देशाचे प्रधानमंत्री मोदीजींवर महाराष्ट्राने दाखवलेला विश्वास आहे आणि त्यामुळे आता आम्हाला खूप काम महाराष्ट्रामध्ये करावं लागेल.
I bow down to the people of Maharashtra. The mandate which is given to us by the people of Maharashtra, this is huge, and we respect this particular mandate. And actually, let me tell you, this is a big responsibility now. The trust which has been shown by the people of Maharashtra on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership will definitely fulfill all the promises.
खरं म्हणजे आजचा हा महाराष्ट्रातला ऐतिहासिक दिवस आहे आणि ऐतिहासिक विजय देखील आहे. आतापर्यंतच्या अनेक वर्षांच्या निवडणुका आपण पाहिल्या, परंतु ही निवडणूक लोकांच्या हातात घेतली अशा प्रकारची निवडणूक होती. म्हणजे लँडस्लायडिंग जो काही विक्ट्री आपण म्हणतो ऐतिहासिक, म्हणजे याला काय
Let me tell you, there have been several elections in the state of Maharashtra, but this is something very different. This is a landslide victory for us. People of Maharashtra literally came out, they took it onto their own and made sure that Mahayuti wins.
लाडकी बहीण असेल, लाडका भाऊ असेल, लाडका शेतकरी असेल, एकंदरीत सगळ्याच घटकातल्या लोकांनी यावेळेस महायुतीवर प्रेम दाखवलं.
बीट लाडका भाई, बीट लाडका शेतकरी, people from all walks of life, all community and everyone have decided to give us a clear mandate.
अशा प्रकारचं काम मतदारांनी केलेलं आहे. खरं म्हणजे गेल्या 2-2.25 वर्षामध्ये मी देवेंद्रजी, अजितदादा, आम्ही जे काम केलं या राज्यामध्ये की शिवसेना, भाजपा, राष्ट्रवादी, RP, आमचे आठवले साहेब इकडे आहेत आणि आमचे इतर घटक मित्रपक्ष, आणि जे निर्णय आम्ही घेतले ते निर्णय आतापर्यंतच्या इतिहासामध्ये न भूतो न भविष्यते असे होते. म्हणजे एकीकडे विकास केला आम्ही, डेव्हलपमेंट म्हणजे जे 2.5 वर्षात महाविकास आघाडी सरकारने जी काही कामं बंद पाडली होती, स्पीड ब्रेकर टाकले होते,
party all over here. Such decisions have been never ever taken in the state of Maharashtra. This was historic, the way different schemes we brought in.
आणि ते स्टे आम्ही सगळे काढले आणि कामं सुरू झाली. मग अटल सेतू झाला, समृद्धी झाला, आपला कोस्टल झाला आणि मेट्रो झाली, कारशेड झाला आणि
मेट्रो, अटल सेतू, कोस्टल रोड, समृद्धी महामार्ग. People had lot of benefits from all this infrastructure projects.
त्यामुळे कामाला आम्ही प्राथमिकता दिली, विकासाला आम्ही प्राधान्य दिलं आणि आम्ही त्यामध्ये एकच डोळ्यासमोर ठेवलं की या राज्याचा सर्वांगीण विकास. आणि राज्याचा सर्वांगीण विकास करत असताना सर्व घटकांना आम्ही समोर ठेवलं.
डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ द स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र to be kept on priority. We didn't work on politics, we only worked on development of Maharashtra.
सगळं बंद पाडलं होतं ते किती वेगाने आम्ही सुरू करू शकलो याचं समाधान आणि आनंद आम्हाला आहे. कारण त्याचे तुम्ही ते फळं पाहत आहे. सगळी लोकांना आपण मेट्रो दिली, समृद्धी दिलं, अटल सेतू दिला, कोस्टल दिलं, लोक तो वापरू लागले. आणि त्याचबरोबर दुसरीकडे आम्ही केल्या कल्याणकारी योजनेमध्ये लाडकी बहीण, मुख्यमंत्री लाडकी बहीण योजना, त्यानंतर मग लाडका भाऊ केला आम्ही, युवा प्रशिक्षण योजना केली, 3 गॅस सिलेंडर.
There are the people who are getting benefits from metro, coastal road, Samruddhi Mahamarg, Atal Setu. Then we brought very nice schemes like Ladki Bahin, Ladka Bhau, Ladka Shetkari. This actually benefits the local people of Maharashtra on the grassroots level.
आणि त्या पंपाचं वीज बिल माफ केलं. शेतकऱ्यांना आम्ही 2.5 वर्षामध्ये, 2.25 वर्षामध्ये आतापर्यंतच्या इतिहासामध्ये जेवढा मोबदला दिला नव्हता, 15,000 कोटी रुपये तो दिला. त्यांच्या योजनांसाठी 45,000 कोटी रुपये.
We gave free electricity to farmers. We did loan waivers for farmers.
आणि दुसरीकडे कल्याणकारी योजना याची आम्ही सांगड घालण्याचा प्रयत्न केला. आणि नेमकं यामध्ये
the mandate is mixture of two things. One is the development work, the infrastructure work, projects of Maharashtra, and others are the beneficiary schemes which we brought in.
आधार मिळाला पाहिजे. आणि मग आम्ही सर्वसामान्यांचं सरकार म्हणायचो. मग सर्वसामान्यांचं सरकार म्हणताना सर्वसामान्याला काय मिळालं याचा विचार आम्ही केला. आणि मला अभिमानाने या ठिकाणी सांगायचं आहे की मोदी